Welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the true gamers. I'm one of your hosts, the Kratos axe-wielding Eddie, along with the very ordinary and boring...
Kratos axeless.
Axeless Sheps. How's
I
it
haven't
going,
played
bro?
with this thing yet, so I wanna experience this.
Go on, this is the first time you're actually touching it.
Alright, talk amongst yourselves.
Do you mind not touching my wood so fondly, please?
I'm gonna fondle your wood
Oi,
all
good
day.
guys.
Oh my days.
How does it
Oh, he's even engraved the pins.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Remember,
Well, I
this
mean-
is an audio and visual show. They need to talk. They're
No,
here for
that's
you as well.
fine. Frick 'em.
Guys, yeah, he really did mean talk amongst yourselves. So yeah, I purchased a legit, handcrafted, handsmithed by a guy in Ukraine. Sorry,
Yeah.
God of War Leviathan axe, because I'm that much of a God of War nerd
It's
and a loser.
It's a real axe.
It's a real axe.
Like it's got a wedge. It's got everything. It's a real axe. And a little bit of me wants to. I did send you a message wondering what our Patreon budget for watermelons was.
Hey, we got the
it's
Christmas
a business expense, okay?
Conbrosations Day.
Ooh.
Ooh, boys!
It doesn't even it's not sharp.
Yeah,
you know?
they had to ship it unsharpened for customs reasons and stuff like that.
It's also an axe.
Heavy as fuck, right?
Hammers aren't sharp. They'll do a lot of damage. You know what I'm saying, to a watermelon.
Also, I will say, as soon as the guy said it's we have to ship it unsharpened, I was like, so how would you go about sharpening one of those? And he was like, it's carbon steel, so all you need is one of those whetstones and just go over it and you'll be fine.
Or a
And I was
file or something. It's an axe.
So there we go, guys. There we go.
Ooh,
Conbrosations
the
Day.
little accents and the
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's actual legit based on the it's a mix between the first axe that he gets unupgraded.
Yeah.
But the unupgraded part doesn't have the gold engravings that has over it.
Yeah. It looks it's the same first shape but with the engraving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I saw the one without the gold bits and I was like, it looks a little bit plain. I thought I'd give it a bit more snazziness. And I will say I tried to pick it up on stream and stuff like that in case you haven't seen as well, a bit of engravings as well.
Yeah, the horse head and whatever it is.
I've been picking it up on stream and being all funny, God of War axe, what's going on?
Yeah.
About 3 times I've stabbed myself with either of the ends on one on my back and things like that.
I was gonna say, we don't need to sharpen the other end because that's an accident waiting to happen.
You just know because you're oh shit, oh no,
Right.
right.
Whoops.
But yeah, guys, the True Gamer podcast.
Yeah, that's right. I'm so sorry. That is gaming, totally gaming.
Gaming related.
And God of War, which is the favourite topic.
Exactly.
It's constantly requested.
We're going to be talking about this, I'm sure, a lot on the Conbrosations podcast, which is exclusive to patreon.com/Conbrosations, which you guys can join for just $1 a month, just like our amazing Super Bros have. That was a great segue, wasn't it?
God.
That was a great segue, wasn't it? Just like our amazing Super Bros have. Those Super Bros are Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Cumsor, my apologies, Sabine from Smallville, Record Friction, the Star Wars Encyclopedia Adam Sunling, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger. That's right. The Star Wars Encyclopedia Adam Sunling, Jeremy, I said them already, didn't I?
Yeah.
I said them already. The Super Sus Ben Fryer, the Filthy Fanatic Joe McCormack, my Juicy Lefner, the Super Sexy Producer Sean, Big Boy Billy, and Kevin, the #1 simp. Of the 20th anniversary of Xbox. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on and everything going here at Conbrosations. We truly love you.
That's right.
And thank you for everything you ever do for us. Thank you, bro.
And while that was a good segue, a terrible list reading.
Yeah, I
those
fucked that
people
one up.
are over on patreon.com/Conbrosations. The bit that you didn't say.
Yeah, exactly. That bit there. Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
Also, you deserve it. You're the one that changed the list.
Yeah.
So
I've done it
get
to myself. I've got no one to blame but me.
Anyway,
Bro, how are you doing?
Awful.
Awful. Why is that?
Still haven't slept.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
We're trying to think outside the box as to what you can do to get it done.
Yeah.
I suggested hitting you with the axe.
I'm considering it.
It's worth a try.
Yeah.
I mean, you're suffering either way.
Exactly. Put me out of my goddamn misery. It's weird because I think some people are like, oh, they just say it. If you follow me on Twitter, You'll see tweets
Yeah.
at like 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m. Still haven't slept.
I
not
love
sleeping.
how the community's now jumped on it as
Oh,
well.
mate, I get flamed.
Yeah.
Random bits like, oh, I know if I'll be, should I like not sleep? And then I know who won't be sleeping at hashtag Sheps.
Someone would
Motherfucker!
Someone would just be talking about it. It was Ben. He was like, should I stay up to watch the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer? Oh, don't know, what shall I do? Shall I maybe go to sleep and then wake up? And then Alpha's just in there like a savage. Just
absolute.
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You weren't even in the conversation. No. And he's like, I know who won't be sleeping.
This guy. This guy.
Oh, boy. Well, that really sucks. That really sucks.
Yeah, it does. So, other than that, not bad. What about you?
Mine's been going okay. I've been, what can I say? I mean, everything's been cool since I got the axe.
Yeah, obviously. Life's going to increase. Yeah.
Everything's been increased. I mean, dinner time's great. Yeah. Playing games is great. Showers are better now with it.
Obviously.
All that stuff. It's all just fantastic. Sex is even better, I have to tell you.
Sex with the axe or?
Sex.
Yeah, right. Got it.
But it's even better when you're doing it and then like holding it above your head, a bit like the Tusken Raiders in Star Wars. Sorry. Oh shit! I have to adjust it a little bit.
Whoops.
But yeah, just wailing above over your head like that. Then they're much better in my opinion.
And obviously she appreciates that.
She sees the power in me.
That's it.
So much so that her eyes roll not back, but to the side. Oddly, I don't know why.
Or sometimes just up.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but it's fantastic. My life has been so much better. What have you been playing, good sir? Have you been playing any games? Since you've been sleeping, surely you've been filling it with games or something.
Do you know what? I have this weird guilt thing where when I'm not sleeping, I'm like, well, I don't want to go on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or anything too much because then the light's going to keep me up. I don't want to start gaming in case I wake up the missus or whatever.
Yep.
And miss my shot at sleep.
Yeah,
but the shot at sleep never comes.
If you rob yourself, you feel guilty, but it never does come.
Exactly. So I'm trying not to do too much. I played a little bit more Apex because I am enjoying it. I'm sort of back in the swing of online PvP type games.
Yep.
We played a bit of Battlefield.
Yes, we did.
And you told me, I was actually going to ask you, that you found some settings that made it significantly better. I want to play, by the way. At least we've got a couple hours left on the early access before the weekend. It's Monday.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay,
tomorrow,
never mind. Then we don't have to worry about
it. Yeah.
But I wanted to play a bit where we're not streaming, obviously because I hate everybody in the community, but also because I'll be able to have like actual audio in my headset. Yeah. Like even when I did have a little bit of audio the last time we streamed, it was like trying to overcome the sound deadening of the Krakens, and like I want it in my headset so I can actually hear what's going on.
For those of you guys that, because not everybody unfortunately watches us on Twitch and stuff like that. When we were streaming,
Twitch.tv/Conbrosations.
You should head over there. It's great stuff. When we were streaming, in order to get Sheps' audio to come through the PC, in order for the stream to hear, unfortunately, he had to plug in his headphones into his computer, but then he couldn't hear the game. Yeah. So he wasn't playing like optimal conditions. And
also the difference showed, like the very first stream, I mean, I only could tell what was happening directly on the screen. You have no awareness. I got demolished.
You have so much like... not even stuff that you don't think about, like your brain just picks up on stuff from sounds in the game that you react to just instinctively, and that just wasn't
like
there
if
for
a tank shoots behind you,
you
have
no
an idea that there's a tank there, right? You know to run away. I'm just stood there.
Other people on the team, this fucking idiot, this
guy
just blew out his head.
Just feeding kills to this. Yeah. So then we played the second stream and we tried with my TV audio, but it was still having to try and get through the sound deadening of the headset. That was a little bit better. It didn't get so badly demolished. So I kind of want to play, obviously, with actual sound.
With proper sound.
But also, like, there's a couple of things. So obviously, it's the first week. And actually, it was an early access week. I'm going to, despite having had a terrible experience so far, I actually am going to give them another week to iron issues out. Because there's always issues like opening up servers to mass numbers of people and stuff.
I think you should, because that was... While I don't agree with this, by the way, because the early access was paid for. It was part of either you're an EA Play member or you have to buy the super extra special edition. Yeah. And I was like, then it has to work on launch, not with the beta testers or something like that. So that's one thing that obviously EA is doing something
stupid. You don't agree with me?
No, I agree with you.
Oh, okay.
It should be this way, but it isn't. That's the thing. It's so the nature of online stuff. So I'm just going to open up my...
My monster feels shallow and weak now.
Yours has no power in it.
It's going to have half of the caffeine compared to yours.
Yeah, mine's gonna.
Shit! Why didn't you offer, bruv? You could. I would have happily let you open my monster if it was going to be open with a Leviathan axe.
I want to have all the energy and you to have none.
For the audio virgins listening on podcast services around the world, rate us 5 stars, but also you missed a funny bit.
Yeah, you missed a funny bit. I opened it with a Leviathan axe right there. It should be working if you're going to do paid early access like that. To
be very, very clear, the game has a bunch of bugs that are completely EA and DICE's fault, and I'm not forgiving them that. What I am forgiving of the game is opening up to a bunch of people that then flood servers. It always causes issues, and the fact that they've done a section large enough and then opening up to the full public, I'm going to give the second opening that week's buffer. Yeah, because it always has issues when you suddenly flood. Even servers that are fully ready, something about them loading up. I don't know what it is.
It's like going from cold to warm. It's like it dies.
Once it's up and running, stuff evens out. But something about getting people in causes issues. So I'm going to give it that like 2-week buffer. But you said there were some settings that you found.
I might
inverted. Yeah.
Let's not talk about that. Yeah. So I watched a couple of videos because I was looking for best settings for PC because I've also got it on PC. And I was like, cool, let me have a look at the best settings because the PC version is by far the worst version out of all of the things.
No.
Which is...
That doesn't make sense. Battlefield has historically been a PC game that gets ported over.
That's why the PC community is fuming right now.
Well, they should be, yeah.
I mean, they're fuming regardless. They're always just like...
Yeah,
Excel Pro.
They're an angry bunch of tax accountants. Yeah.
Exactly, but the PC one is by far the worst, and they've got things on there like the NVIDIA DLSS, which apparently uses AI to boost your frame rate, which is apparently amazing in every other game.
Except
doesn't work in this game at all.
Which sounds like a DICE problem, not an NVIDIA problem. To be clear, yeah.
And I was like, have I got something wrong? So I had a look at some settings. Yeah. On top of all the PC settings, there were some other settings in the game that remove a bunch of like this extra flair on top that make Battlefield look more like gritty.
Right.
But it's totally not necessary, and all it does is hamper your ability to be able to play the game. Okay. And I removed these settings. It doesn't look any worse, but it just removes some of these little things. And I'm like, I'm playing 10 times better. I got in a game, I fucking blew up some tanks, I fucking killed all of these guys on an objective, claimed that shit. I was like, I'm playing like an elite form of Eddie, which isn't that great, but still it's better than it was.
This guy's almost the 1 KD.
And I was like, I was enjoying myself, so I was like, I need to get Sheps back. I need to tell him to do all these things because it's so much better.
And I'm down. Like I know I'm having. Like
and also the servers have gotten a little bit better.
Yeah, they even out
because it's getting closer.
That's going to change in
tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
So again, I'm giving this. To be clear, I'm giving the servers the grace period, not DICE, not EA.
Yeah.
I do want to do it. I've had an awful time so far, but I'm forgiving of it, especially the conditions that I played in, which was no sound. Yeah. So yeah, I have another question. It's also about a PvP game, which is Halo Infinite. I did want to say though, recently, so I got back into Apex, just because we're talking PvP games and shooting and stuff. And Battle Royales, I still have no game sense for them. I don't really... There's just a way of thinking and rotating and all sorts of stuff that I'm just still don't have.
Yeah.
And I was getting kind of demolished. Like very rarely do I have like a really good game.
Yep.
But then we go to arenas, and at least for kills, this is one of the things I was saying about this type of game. My like general sort of base level for kills, I'm about a 1.5 KD player. That's what I would say. Okay, I'm playing at my like normal. Shut up, bruv. Are you also in there? You're in that range as well. I know we make the joke, but like that's about where we both sit, right?
I'll show you the proof later, don't worry.
I've got fucking montages on my old channel, I swear. Didn't take me 7 years to get. I also wanted to... Oh, you can't do it now. Do you remember I had that clip of defibbing the tank?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I think was a bunch of like weird things that meshed all at the right time. I don't think I actually killed it.
It was a stroke of luck.
Right.
The guy, I don't know how the guy decided, I'm going to continue being in this tank while on 1 HP.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think I hit the guy while the tank was on 1 HP and burning down.
Yeah.
But, so I want to play... Battlefield lets you do some really stupid things. I want to try it. Anyway, Apex. I've been struggling, obviously, and because, I don't know, Battle Royale seems hard for me, at least, to keep, like, my KD... And KD is just an idea of where I'm am in like fighting other people, not for like it's not important. Then we go to arenas and I'm like, I'm doing better. I look at my KD and it's no good. And then I look at my KD including knocks and it's right where I expect it to be. And the problem is like, because you don't get kills, you just... But I view knocks as really important. Like, if you take someone out of the fight, then someone has to either come and revive them or leave them down, take them down.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just one of those things. Now, Halo Infinite. How you finding it? How does it look? How does it play? Knowing that it doesn't have like 7 features for it to be considered a full Halo game, how do you feel about it?
So Halo Infinite, just the multiplayer has dropped out of nowhere on the 20th anniversary stream that they did. They just said the multiplayer is out now and everyone download it.
And that's how you
free
do
to
it.
play.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it.
It's good.
Good.
It's really good. I was going to joke around and say, nah, it's shit. Typical Xbox shit. You know, anything Xbox does is awful, but it's actually fantastic.
I'm really glad to hear it.
I played on day one. I played a couple of hours by myself, and I was like, this is good fun. And I know it's going to be even funner as any PvP game is with friends. We did a stream the next day because it was my usual streaming day. Got all of the guys in. It was a bloody blast. We had so much fun in all of the game modes, all of the just TDM, capture the flag, capture the zones, all that sort of stuff like that. Really, really good. And I've started to get a good feel of all the weapons because I am new to Halo Halo multiplayer and whatnot. Basically, just throw away the battle rifle as soon as you can, get something else.
No. Unless something's changed. Unless something's changed, that is the worst advice I've ever heard.
It is. Don't get me wrong, the battle rifle's fine, but unless you're super laser accurate, which I'm
like a
not,
Halo player, you're supposed to be. Yeah.
No, Halo players. Not. But you're not gonna get all the shots on, and that's gonna be the only way to kill them. Fucking the secondary is way more powerful. Just fucking cap them with a pistol.
They bring back the sniper pistol.
No. Well, I don't know if it's a sniper pistol, but it's a pistol.
In the first game, it had a 2x zoom. You could get tons of headshots on
I've never seen a 2x zoom.
What? You've played Halo Combat Evolved?
I didn't. No, I'm saying I didn't on this gun. I didn't try to ADS.
Okay.
I've always thought that you don't ADS in Halo. That's what I've always thought.
No, you get like snipers and stuff.
I guess sniper rifles I get, but I guess with like battle rifle you just. Anyway, whatever it might be, that's really powerful, and there's a lot of good power weapons that you can pick up that are really cool. It was so much fun. I enjoyed it a lot. 2 issues, however.
Okay.
2 issues, and there's stuff that can be remedied, but will they remedy it? That's the
right.
thing.
Oh God.
One of them, variety. There's not a lot of variety at the moment. There's like a couple of game modes and a couple of maps. And that's it. That's something I think is going to get bigger and better as it goes
more
along.
Maps and game modes,
because there's a ton of game modes that people who play Halo know all about, and they're not in this. And it'd be stupid to not have them in there. And it's easy to put in.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's coming. That's fine. And right now, I think after the honeymoon period, with all the stuff that's in it now, could get very old very quickly.
Right. Okay.
And people would just drop off. The other one, however, the one that's very, very bad is the progression system.
Oh no.
The progression system is currently 0. There is no progression. The only way for you to, like we said before, the only way for you to get any XP is through challenges, i.e. play capture the fag 3 times, or kill a warthog.
That's not okay,
or something like that, or whatever it might be. And the warthog one is funny because it's only in bigger maps and stuff like that. And what if you don't like playing bigger maps? What if you want to play the smaller ones, something like that? It's so dumb. And there is no XP for getting 45 kills or 0 deaths or capturing all the objectives or capturing all the flags. Nothing like that.
That's just so wrong.
It's so wrong. And because of that, out of the stream that I played, the day before that I played a couple of hours, I'm only at level 1.
No.
Level 1 of this fucking progression.
No.
Very clearly what it is that it's geared more from people
for the
to...
microtransactions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it's clearly hinting at. People to buy the premium battle pass, and then in the future they'll probably put more like microtransactions, stuff like that. Now, some might argue, why would Microsoft do something like that? Because they have more money than God.
Yeah, well, they haven't made any money in
Exactly.
Xbox,
So maybe this is one of the ways they were doing. They were like, this is our biggest franchise. Surely we can make money off of that.
Yeah.
But it is something that can be changed. Will they change it? I don't know.
This sounds like a Battlefront 2 situation. Oh shit! God damn it! That's exactly what they did with Battlefront 2, which is a game that we loved. It was well loved in the community.
But EA just decided to ring it for microtransactions.
Yeah, exactly. Where the whole leveling progression, it had 6 months of base level reworking to make it functional when they realized no one was going to buy anything. I don't know, man.
It was his 4-year anniversary recently, I think it was.
Yeah, yesterday, I think.
Yesterday. Really good.
I don't know, man. I really hate the sound of that.
It is bad because like when we played, other than the fun that I was having with my friends, there was nothing else I was going for.
Yeah, you wouldn't hop on your own.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It takes out the feeling of wanting to jump on to play the game. It's jump on because your friends are there.
Yeah.
And that seems so weird to me. The reason why I say that I don't think that will they change it, possibly, maybe no, maybe yes, they will. Yeah. Even though one of the heads said that we're looking into the progression system,
right.
which God knows what that means. The reason why I say it is because this is so abundantly clear.
Yeah, every other game they've been doing it since COD 4. Halo multiplayer, OG multiplayer.
Even they did it in the Master Chief Collection. This is so abundantly clear that this was a problem. This didn't take millions of people to log online and then go, we've identified an issue.
Yeah.
This is something that was very clear that you could have seen, and they released it that way.
Yeah.
So there's an intention there. There's something they're thinking about, and my thought is that they're trying to push more people towards microtransactions. Which sucks.
Will be a worry.
Which sucks because that's what everyone's worried about when it comes to Halo. They're like, oh, we're turning Halo into a live service game. We're turning the multiplayer free to play. That's right, guys. It's going free. That's the best thing ever, right?
See, that's the thing. Making it free to play, I'm like, okay, microtransactions. I'm actually for microtransactions in the way I think Fortnite does it amazingly. One of my critiques of Apex is that I think they would make more money if they made things a little bit cheaper and gave you a little bit less time to buy it. You've got like a week for stuff to be in the store. Refresh it more often. And make it just a little bit cheaper. Make it like, man, that's going to go in like 6 hours and it is only like £4. I really want it. I'll get it. Instead, some of these skins are like 15 quid. It's just too much. Anyway, we kind of knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's going to be microtransactions, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do it.
Yes.
This sounds very much like the wrong way so far.
They did say, this is something funny, where before the game came out, they were talking about battle passes and how they're going to do it differently. They're like, battle passes that
we're going to really screw the pooch.
They're like, battle passes that we do are never going to expire. And people are like, oh, so we can, theoretically, I don't need to buy the next battle pass because I'll always have my battle pass. I think that's because there's no progression.
Yeah.
You cannot, if it was to be, all right, expires in a month, I'm at level 2. I'm still at level 2.
Like,
you know?
So when I was playing a little bit of Fortnite with like Harry and the boys and stuff, I bought the battle pass once. You didn't have to play that much to make enough like in-game coins that the next season you just buy it with so you only needed to buy it once and play enough. And I mean by enough, it wasn't like 40-hour grinds. You know, it was play a bit, like enjoy yourself. You get enough. That was a good way to do it. And made me consider actually even purchasing stuff. And I'm not microtransactions guy.
Neither am I, yeah.
So, that again, Fortnite does it right. I did want to say there was one thing, though. Not to, like, bash on Halo. Although it's not really Halo, it's 343. I think you shared it. The first day numbers, or first week numbers.
Yes, that was something. So let me get my tweet up.
Also because I've been mentioning Apex Legends as it happens to be a game that I'm playing. And I actually want to use it as a way to highlight the companies, not the game. Because Respawn is the OG guys that made like Call of Duty 4. They made the base of Modern Warfare 2.
Yep.
They're Titanfall. They're well regarded. You know, they make good games.
Yeah.
And when Apex Legends came out, it pulled pretty significant numbers. And whereas 343 have made, by all accounts, a really fun in the game to play version, but they've also spent 2 games butchering the IP
and people's goodwill as well.
Right.
The numbers that you were mentioning is so this was the first day numbers. The first day numbers to get an idea of how popular it was, bearing in mind that it was a shadow drop, even though it was only a month away from the release, really.
But still.
And it is the biggest name that Microsoft has.
By far.
Everyone in gaming was talking about Halo. So Halo? What are we
it this
talking
way,
about? What's Halo?
When did you first started playing Halo? About 4 months ago, right? Somewhere in there. This was your first time to play Halo ever.
Yeah.
5 months ago, had you heard Halo?
I'd heard of Halo.
You know Halo, right?
Everyone knows Halo.
Yeah.
So bearing in mind those statistics right there, on the first day, they reached a peak of 272,000 concurrent players on Steam. This is just on Steam right there.
Fine.
So the Xbox numbers aren't included in there, stuff like that. It's
But
just
significant.
Steam.
That's pretty good.
Pretty
Sounds
significant, pretty good, and good for that day as well. It was like one of the highest games out there.
Yeah.
Still coming, obviously, to the weekend, which just passed recently as well. We haven't got those numbers.
It's also
just
the
yet.
middle of the
Look at
week, so the numbers are going to be disadvantaged.
Exactly.
However,
on the day that, on the weekend that Apex Legends released, Apex Legends released with no marketing up to it. It released 0 on the day. We just went, Apex Legends is a thing, go and play it now.
Yeah.
There was not a franchise that anyone had heard of, even though it was made by Respawn. They were like, okay, made by Respawn, but how many people know the developers of any game?
Yeah.
It's just us hardcores that know that.
Yeah, we knew Respawn. Also, people were like, well, it's a Battle Royale, Fortnite's... And this was at the peak of Fortnite.
Peak of Fortnite
You don't
as well
compete
right
with
there.
Fortnite.
So it was a very unknown thing dropped. In that first weekend, 2 million concurrent players.
Yeah.
It's a very big gap. Now, granted, that number is all of the platforms that it's on.
That's everything. It was
versus
on a
Steam.
weekend.
Exactly. It had everything else going for it, but it did have the cons of being something completely brand new, going up against a Titan in its prime, new IP,
no marketing,
whatsoever,
no brand for the game. Like everybody knows Halo. Everybody knows Halo.
So there's ups and downs for each side of it. However, a difference of 1.75 million,
significant, isn't it?
You think if it was more like it was 1.2 million versus 2 million?
Yeah, then I would have gone, well, you know what? Shadow drop, middle of the week.
Right.
There's only Steam numbers.
And let's wait till we get a bit more information.
Right.
But even if we add the Xbox numbers into it, which a couple of people said, this is just the Steam numbers, guys, what about Xbox?
Yeah.
Xbox, not saying this to be mean, is factually, with data, the smallest platform out of every platform.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
How much more is it going to be? I'm going to be generous and I'm going to add 150,000 to that number right there.
Yeah, that's more than half.
It's still not close.
Yeah.
So, while I'm enjoying the game and I'm loving it and I'm excited for what the future holds for this game and hopefully that those little things get sorted out and I hope it doesn't go too hard on microtransactions, the performance isn't doing too great.
Right. It's 343, I think.
It looks like maybe it's that as well, but also I feel like a lot more people are more interested in the campaign.
Yeah.
A thing that, again, we haven't seen more of.
That's one.
And I put out a tweet saying, wow, Microsoft and 343 will really just shadow drop the whole multiplayer just so they don't talk about the campaign.
Yeah.
Just so they can distract you from the fact that they haven't shown anything.
That is one point, which is Apex Legends dropped the entire game. That everything that was in Apex got dropped, and it got 2 million concurrent players.
Yeah.
Halo dropped 10% of their game and got 10% of the players.
Exactly.
So I mean, I think you're right.
Yeah. Just want to say a quick shout out to all of the guys that did join me on the stream as well. Alpha, we had Andy, Ben, all of you guys who joined me on stream. It was fantastic. Hooky as well was great. It was a fucking great time. I really loved all of you guys joining me. It was a good time. And also want to quickly shame Corwin.
Okay.
Corwin's been playing and he's been posting all these stats like, oh yeah, I got this many kills, I got this many kills.
Right.
The guy's been playing with bots.
Motherfricker.
The guy's been playing with bots. I mean,
this guy.
Granted, PC player, he doesn't play on a controller like an elite gamer, but
I see.
Playing with bots.
I see. That's not very true gaming, but you
shame.
did mention some true gamers. Talking of true gamers,
Oh, what a segue, sir!
this of course is the True Gamer podcast over here on YouTube.com. Just search for the True Gamer podcast, please. And it was made possible by the guys over on patreon.com/Conbrosations, who basically came to us and they said, boys, gamers, guys, bros,
Jamering.
Jaming, we need a gaming specific podcast. If you don't make it, I haven't got anything prepared.
Shall I just read out
Just
some
read
names?
out their names.
The names, those true gamers who support us are Jeremy Horde, Sab2557, Sheps' Krusty Riot Nut, Isak Manny, Record Friction, Tobias Forge, please release the new Ghost album. Sincerely, Adam. Kevin Crow, Superwell Ben, Joe McCormack, Diogo, Billy, you absolute thithering thothage, aka Zacchino, Sussy Imposter Among Us Moment, Batfan, aka the Better Eddie Clone, Fishy the Jackal, Dan Dano, Max H, Cobra SS, and I'll be Scory. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on the gaming going here at
That's
Conbrosations.
right, gaming.
I'll interject it here and I'll just say, bro, this is the True Gamer Podcast.
That's right.
Come into your eyes and ears every Saturday here on youtube.com/
Just search for True Game Podcast.
Yeah, just do that. And also on podcast services around the world. If you just search for True Gamer Podcast anywhere, you'll find us because we are the True Gamers.
It's true.
If you're listening to us on YouTube, watching us on YouTube even, then you can help us out by clicking that like button down below, subscribing to the channel, hitting that notification bell for occasional notifications from YouTube, you know, when it could happen. And if you're listening on podcast services like Apple, rate us 5 stars and above over there. In fact, you can't do higher than 5 stars, but 5 stars, because it helps us out a lot, because it's really good. The algorithm's really good over there.
It actually does help a lot.
It does. If you love what we do over here, if you want to be one of those true gamers that we just mentioned, or one of those super bros at the beginning who support us, you can head over to patreon.com/conversations and kick us a couple of bucks a month, where you can get exclusive access to things like the True Gamer Plus show, which is a supplement to this show right here, talk about all kind of gaming stuff exclusively over there, and that's at the $1 tier, as well as the Conversations podcast, which we're going to record today, again, at the $1 tier. $2.
That's our no holds barred. We'll uncensor the word frick if it appears on screen, no star, hard swearing.
I'm going to be talking all about the Leviathan axe and something special.
Yes, actually, I'm actually interested in that as well. So we'll get to that. For as little as $1 a month, you can join over 50 patrons.
50 very smart people,
Incredibly smart people. They know value, they know content. I don't know what they're doing on our Patreon, but they know it.
Yeah, they know it. They're just here for some reason.
Pity patrons, isn't it?
It is right there. But yeah, you can support us that way if you so choose. However, if you don't want to do that, if you're like, you know what, maybe you guys aren't really worth the couple of bucks that I got. Maybe I don't have the couple of bucks, Eddie.
I mean, I'm not on our Patreon. I wouldn't give us our money.
We wouldn't dare give money to Conbrosations.
I know what we spend it on.
Come on, come on. If you're like, nah, I don't want to give you, I'm just okay doing it here, that's fine. We love you regardless. You're great. You're one of the bros. You're in here. We love you. And just, hit the like button every now and again. Drop a comment down below. It helps us out. Good stuff like that.
On that note, it doesn't have to be us, but if you can't be on Patreon,
yes,
and you do run ad block, maybe consider whitelisting your favorite content creators. Doesn't have to be us, but whoever. I actually like getting ads because I'm like, it's a way for me to, for free, cost me nothing, actually support the content that I'm enjoying, like these tractor videos. So maybe consider doing that.
Yep.
It's like a, if not for everything, just for the people that you like want to support,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bro, it's time for your favorite segment of the show.
That's right. So look, if you're new around here, we're stupid and on the internet. We've never let facts get in the way of a strongly held opinion. So sometimes we'll say things on the internet and they won't be exactly accurate. They're pretty good, but not exactly accurate. And we get corrections. So when we say something stupid in this video, head down to the comment sections, write out a comment. Actually, when you said God of War was the best game of all time, you correct us. We'll read it out in the next video and we'll credit you. Is that what we're saying? We'll freaking beef you out.
Yeah, we'll give you some serious shit. You know what I'm saying?
So, any corrections? I don't think so, because we're super smart.
Fortunately, we do. When I say we, I mean you.
Oh, God.
Runic Firebird writes in, he says, in response to my correction you stomped on in this episode...
Oh, yeah, that's right, Mr. Shazam was in the 70s. No, it wasn't, motherfricker.
I will be correcting your correction of my correction.
Oh, shit.
Again, the TV show happened in the 70s. The 1940s is a movie serial.
That's a show!
While being episodic, it's not considered a TV show. So, get absolutely frickin' fricked, he says. You fake fan, your move, Sheps.
Feel like you got me in a box here. Also,
that's a teenage nigger warhead. What's
that's her.
That woman in Devit. That's that move right there. You got me in a box.
I'll be honest.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
I think that's it. Yeah. I respect the savagery. I'm just going to allow it. I'm not even going to beef you out because I respect it.
He's been beaten.
I'm not even being. I fully just enjoy watching savagery like that, even if I'm the recipient. So well done, Runic.
We'll get ready for some more.
God
Jeff Shrooms writes in, and he says, correcting Conbrosations. Christ, Sheps.
God damn it. Oh, yeah.
He says Sheps.
That's your fault.
Is it?
That's why on the Discord I'm shoes because of your freaking typo. You beefed me out in the comments and you were completely wrong because if you don't know, when shows premiere, we like to hang out with you guys and just chat sometimes. Especially if we leave like 45 minutes of black screen. If that ever happens.
It's not my fault that your name is just so typoable. All right?
Typoable.
That's a word. I made it. Christ, Ships. Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't 11 years old at this point. The game came out in early 2019. I think you've got it confused with one of the millions of other sequels and prequels and expansions in the franchise. Also, it's wild how they did return Dirty at the Game Awards in it. Cheers, lads.
I need to read it. I can't.
Is Dirty a song or something like that?
I don't know, man.
It is crazy how they did that. Fucking, I'm blown away.
This again, Kingdom Hearts 3 is of course the best way to first experience Kingdom Hearts, which you found out on stream, because I think it's the most recent of the 50 game franchise that is Kingdom Hearts 1 through 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Freaking game. Also Square Enix and their naming system is atrocious.
Yeah.
Atrocious. They even did it. When they did the Final Fantasy VII remake?
Yeah.
It's not just Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy VII. It's Final Fantasy VII Remake, Reborn, Upside Down, back to front,
Intergrade. What the fuck does that mean?
What are you talking about? It's just Final Fantasy VII.
What does that mean? What does Intergrade mean?
Stop being stupid, grow up, and make Final Fantasy 9.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but it was a correcting Conbrosations.
Yeah.
One of the guys sent it to me. It might have been like one of our bros.
Yeah.
In that Nvidia leak that I said didn't have Final Fantasy 9, it did have Final Fantasy 9 in the Nvidia leak.
Okay.
He's excited.
Okay.
And we was talking about sorry if I can't remember who it was. It might can't remember who it was, but sorry if I've forgotten you. But it's there. So maybe.
Do you know what's really stupid? You know how you played Halo? You played the Master Chief Collection, played Halo 1 in the OG graphics. Yeah. If they made Final Fantasy 9 and gave you the ability to swap it back from like the full brand new stuff to the OG graphics, I might do it. We started it on stream.
I'll wait for a remake, but I'll just play it the way it was before.
It's so annoying. Anybody that's played the updated versions, because it was a PS1 game, and they did bring it out, I think, on the PS4.
Yeah.
It was 4 discs. So you get to a point where it says like insert disc 2. All you have to do is press X, but it tells you insert disc 2, and I loved it. I appreciated it. I loved that it didn't just keep going.
And then by you, it's like muscle memory. You're just like, all right, let's get. Oh wait, I don't have to do that.
Oh, I can just press X.
Oh, here we go. Where's the next disc? I
still have those discs, by the way. I have my Final Fantasy 9. Yeah. It's like this thick.
You need to bring it, like, when we do, like, a meetup one day, you need to do it, and then everyone needs to, like, you need to hold it up like that, and everyone bow down to you, like, the Final Fantasy 9 God.
If it's confirmed that they're bringing out an FF9 remake, I will do it. Yeah.
Lovely. And one other thing, this isn't really a correction, but Sean says, this is for Sheps. If you want to play Elden Ring when it comes out, we can game share using my account because I'm going to buy it digitally. Because I'm buying the physical version.
Yeah.
You can share with him. There you go.
Can we do that? He actually messaged me on Discord and said, same offer. And then was saying, what's your PIN number, mother's maiden name, all that stuff.
Bank account number.
Yeah, which seems fair enough.
Understandable.
Can we do that? Because I've got my account linked to you.
I don't know if you can do it multiple. I assume you can, because it's just another user, right?
Maybe.
I don't know. There could be a restriction on that. I mean, it's wild that they allow us to do it one time first.
Right.
Twice, I don't know.
I mean, do you know what's funny is we were always saying about how PC gamers get the games at half price, but if you game share, so do you?
Yeah. You just need to have a very, very good cooperative friend, and then work
so
out.
Obviously, if you're a gamer, it's impossible to do.
Exactly. And then it's like, you need to hear of girls. Well, that seals the deal, doesn't it?
Can't be done.
Bro.
Yes.
This is the True Gamer Podcast, and today's topics include GTA, the collection, the definitive edition, and how much of a buggy mess it is on PC.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite's multiplayer being a shadow drop on the 20th anniversary of Xbox.
Yep.
And the Game Award nominations have been revealed.
Okay.
We're going to
Did
kick
you
it off
just
with the
say
game.
nominations?
Yeah, I did say that. I went Game Awards nominations for some reason.
Okay, cool.
It's Game Awards nominations have been revealed. We're going to kick it off with that one, okay? So yeah, Game Awards is coming on the 8th of December. Sorry, 9th of December, day after Halo Infinite drops.
Have we been asked to present it? Or?
We haven't, unfortunately. I think our email got lost in the spam folder.
Right.
I've been trying to get in contact with him again. Jeff's a busy guy, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right.
And also, I keep trying to tweet him under every single tweet he puts, but that goddamn Paris Lily keeps on going, put me on the show, Danger
You really
Zone.
hate him, don't you?
Fucking hate
Danger
him.
Zone.
Do you know what's really weird? Is that I've tried to reach out to people to like do stuff.
Yeah.
One time I try. If I don't get a reply or I get shot down, that's it. I have my dignity and self-respect. I'll sit back. This guy has been trying every fucking post since the guy posted. I'm like, have some self-respect. Anyway. Personal issues, not for True Game Podcast.
Yeah.
The Game Award nominations have been revealed, and we're going to go over them right here.
Okay.
I want us to just talk about each one of them. We're going to do a separate episode the week before the Game Awards happen.
Yeah, we do the
of our
awards that people
predictions.
actually care about, the Conbrosations.
We'll do our own one of
picks.
like predictions, our own picks, stuff like that. Big
Yeah.
old episode. You'll have some time to think about it so you guys can write in as well. But the Game Award nominations have happened.
Okay.
And I'm going to read what they are.
Yep.
We're going to talk a little bit about them. Starting off with the most important one, the best esports athlete.
Pardon me?
Athlete.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It says athlete there too.
For some reason in my head, I thought you meant like most picked FIFA character or something. I was like, what? Okay.
No, I brought this one in for a joke because literally one of the guys' names is Chris Leher, whatever it is, but his nickname is Simp.
That's very funny.
The guy chose his own nickname and it's Simp.
Oh, talking of this, sorry, I just want to interject. The other day, because it was the 20th anniversary, they did an OG Halo 3 Master Chief Collection, Halo 3 multiplayer, like Twitch Rivals.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. I'll jump on it. I was taken back to like 2009. I know these games. I know Hysteria. Like I watched Hysteria play MLG in 09. There was all this weird stuff. I don't know, man. It was just really fun for me to be like, oh my God, I'm a kid again.
Relive it all again.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to say that. So like,
No, that's
although
okay.
we make fun of like esports athletes, I saw the name, in particular, it was Hysteria because I saw a bunch of montages or clips of Hysteria way back when YouTube was
And
a
you
baby
had to
thing.
click it. You had to.
And I was like, oh my God, I know this name. So sometimes you do have favorite esports peeps. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Who we got? Who's the nominees?
Let's start with the big one, the one that everybody wants to know. Game of the Year nominations are Deathloop from Arcane Studios.
Okay.
It Takes Two from Hazelight Studios.
Yeah, we meant to play that, but never got around to it.
Yeah. Metroid Dread from Mercury Steam. Psychonauts 2 from Double Fine. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart from Insomniac Games.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil Village from Capcom. How do you feel about that list? Tell me, and then I'll talk about my feelings first of all. Afterwards.
That list feels pretty sad to me for this year. Does anybody else agree? Don't get me wrong, some bangers in it. I think Ratchet & Clank's a really good game, but it's not a game. You know how we said racing
feelings
games
as well.
can't win Game of the Year?
Before you say that, then let me say what I was going to say.
Okay.
Spoiler alert: no racing games were nominated as Game of the Year. Eddie was right. You guys can just stop now. If you guys just stopped being fake gamers and stop playing with girls or boys or girls and boys, and just listen to your boy Eddie, we'd have far fewer of these embarrassing moments.
It's true.
Just listen to what I say, and everything's gonna be okay.
Listen, we're the hosts of the True Gamer podcast. Do you think there would be copyright issues if we weren't True Gamers? We're the hosts of the True Gamer podcast. You got like
Jesus, you know.
think about it, boys.
Exactly. So Forza Horizon wasn't on there.
Right.
A lot of people were very upset about that, and I'm just
No,
like,
look,
that's so dumb.
guys, if it comes up for like graphics awards,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Maybe some sound design.
Yeah.
Car model of the year. Great.
Physics engine stuff, maybe.
Yeah. But game of the year.
now. So it's the same reason FIFA's not on there or NBA 2K.
Exactly.
But it just seems like a really sad list
It is.
And again, I loved Ratchet and Clank. I'm a Ratchet and Clank fan. I mean, I've mentioned that for years.
Yeah.
They just probably shouldn't. A couple of the best ones, I think that it was in like 2012 or something, was the best one on the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe could have. But like overall, it's just not the kind of game that wins it.
I have the same feelings about this list.
It's just a bit sad. I feel like Resident Evil is the clear winner.
I don't know, because I mean, look, I'm going to say first of all, so I'm going to go list by list. Deathloop, I really love that game. It should be in the conversation. I don't think it's going to win personally. Okay. That's my personal
Do you think if it did, should it have? Do you think if it was to win, you'd be like, I don't know, man? I don't think so.
Out of these list of games, maybe I'd be okay with it. I think I'd be okay with it. It Takes Two, we haven't played it, but however everyone says it's fantastic. I would like to play before the game, before the year ends or something like that.
I mean, we got Christmas holidays coming up.
Metroid Dread, I'm not a big fan of the Metroid games myself, but a lot of people said again it was fantastic. Yeah. I haven't played one in ages. Psychonauts 2, I didn't play. Again, it's not my kind of thing. The look of it isn't particularly my flavor, but everyone said it was great as well. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I did play, loved the graphics, enjoyed my time with it. I don't think it's Game of the Year candidate like you said.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's a Ratchet and Clank.
It's a fun game.
It's great. It's very Ratchet and Clank. You now know what Ratchet and Clank games are.
Exactly.
And like I said, they don't make bad ones.
They just
But it's not a Game of the Year kind of game. And I love Ratchet and Clank. Yeah. It's just not a Game of the Year game. It's not supposed to be.
And Resident Evil Village, I haven't fully completed yet because I'm playing it on stream. So far, what I've played is great. It's fun.
Yeah.
Game of the Year?
Counter to that, Lady D.
Game of the Year quality.
She's got the personality to carry it, if you know what I'm saying, you know?
Just the things in the game. There's something in the game that just makes it screams.
There's a weight to the game.
Exactly,
you know?
A weight. That's what I would say.
There's a weight, a mass.
The heaviness.
The bodies.
Yes.
The graphics managed to render. I think. Yeah.
Again, I don't think...
Although, actually, that game was really short, wasn't it? It was only like 8 hours or something. It's not a very long game.
It is kind of short. Still, wherever the game's... As long as they tell the story properly and there's an impact or something like that, then it's fine. But as you said, kind of weak.
Yeah.
I will say one thing.
Yeah?
People were like, one guy at Windows Central, oh my god, I have to find this.
God.
Sorry for derailing what I was about to say.
No, go for it, man.
I derailed myself, which is just dumb. Let me find it here. Okay, it was a tweet from Windows Central. Jez Corden, who is so fucking dramatic. He's like, the Game Awards snub of Forza Horizon 5 discredits the entire gaming industry. The entire gaming industry is gone now. We can shut it all down, lads, because Forza Horizon 5 wasn't nominated for a nominee.
That, I would say, is dramatic, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's dramatic,
A bit. No mention in his article of... This isn't even a personal thing. A lot of people are saying this. Returnal, one of my picks that I think is being snubbed.
I was actually going to ask you about that, yeah.
On top of it being
Seems
a good
like a
game,
very good story in there as well.
Yeah, a story in there. I haven't finished it, just to be clear. That's one of my games I'm going to do before the end of the year. Yeah. On top of it being that, a brand new IP coming out of the gate and being good like that. Yeah. Being a complete change of pace from what the company was done before.
Yeah. I actually want that in the discussion, by the way.
Crazy! Why is it not?
I think last episode I even said there's something recently with games like that where it's like previously they made basically a fancy Space Invaders. That's not a snub. That's just the kind of game that they made.
Arcade games. That's what they loved.
And then they made Return. Same with Sucker Punch, making Second Son, which is a great game. That was a previous game. Yeah, great, don't get me wrong. But then moving to just straight up, no questions asked, AAA, cinematic.
Spider-Man.
Like, it's just...
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, of course. Like, just that progression from, like, imagine telling the story of the company. You know Raising Kratos as a documentary? Like...
Do I know?
Of course you do.
That's based on my life, loosely.
It wasn't a question.
Yes.
It was, I was bringing it up. Like, it's fun to watch that progression of this company that, like, maybe, like, why would you give that to them and then they knock it out of the park and it's not something they're known for? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fun to watch that progression. Like, man, how did this company do this? How did they go from Resogun to Returnal? Oh my god, what's going on?
No recognition whatsoever for all of that effort and for a great game.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. And then this guy, the entire gaming industry has been discredited because of Forza Horizon, because a racing game didn't get a nomination for Game of the Year.
Again, look, talking graphics, absolutely. Physics engines, absolutely. Like, music, sound design, all sorts.
I want to say something. So last year, we didn't get one very important game for Game of the Year nomination, or even in the discussion and whatnot. And it's because it came out the year before, but just missed the cutoff point for the Game Awards discussions, which was Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And somehow the gaming industry wasn't discredited then.
Snub of the year!
That was a much bigger snub in my opinion. Granted,
it
had its issues.
For sure.
But at least should have been in the discussion. It was completely forgotten.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't put this racing game in there, so the whole gaming industry can just go home now.
That's stupid. It's ridiculous.
What that discredits is you, Jazz Quarter. That discredits you.
Yeah, look, no one's saying that Forza isn't an incredible game, and the people that enjoy it should
I personally love it.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
And you're not a racing game
I'm
guy.
not a racing game guy. And I'm a Sony pony as well.
Yeah, for real, you know, we kind of are. It's not that it isn't good. It's that it's not going to meet the standard for the award that you're asking it to go for.
Yeah.
Because look, don't lie and say any story in a racing game is ever going to compete with like Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, The Last of Us. Like it's not. And that's what makes Game of the Year. Now, should that award be called Story of the Year? Maybe, but that's not. It is Game of the Year. And so it's not going to get it. So shut the fuck up!
Yep. I do want to say what some of our guys wrote in with stuff that we should talk about.
Yeah.
And Morbius Sweep 2022 wrote in and he said, what do you guys think of the Game of the Year nominations? We're talking about those right here.
Yeah,
and
a little bit sad. But...
And what are your predictions you might see for stuff being shown off at the Game Awards? I don't want to give too much away now because we are going to do an episode, as I said, right before, where we talk about our predictions, what's going to happen, what we think will show off, because there is a PlayStation remake apparently going to be shown off there. That's the rumor that's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Don't know what that is. Probably going to be Resistance. You never know.
It's never going to be Resistance.
Let me dream, okay? But we're going to talk about that then, okay? Do you have any light predictions? Something you might want to...
what
something to be shown off at the Game Awards, like a surprise?
I feel like I would show probably more of the Wolverine thing.
Oh.
I feel like it's the one thing people are really there's no question in it. Everybody wants to see it.
Yeah.
There's no one like, oh, I'm not interested in Wolverine. If you're like anybody that isn't that guy that's only playing Forza, everybody else is interested. You know.
Yeah. That would be a great thing to show off.
I would
be very soon.
By the way, I don't expect Sucker Punch to have that ready.
Because Sucker Punch are the guys
doing
working
it,
on
right?
Yes.
No, honestly, I don't think Insomniac will have. Gameplay is light. I don't mean gameplay, but like in engine modeling ready.
Yeah.
No way. But at this point, given that it's just been announced and it's not a trailer, I can do another CG.
Yeah.
Thing, just giving away, like, not giving away, but like teasing the general, like, antagonist of the show, of the game, you know, something like that.
Like where they're gonna go, because right now it's just question marks. It's like Wolverine, okay, where they're gonna do?
We know there's a dude who heals and has swords in his hand, you know.
Yeah.
So I could see that. That would be my pick.
I have one counterpoint to you.
Okay.
This is Insomniac, and they push out games every 6 months. So this game could be ready for the Game Awards, and it could be coming out. Shadow Drop! Shadow Drop on the Game Awards, guys. That's my official prediction. Put it in.
That would actually make 2021 a good year.
I would give up predicting anything at that point because they'd be like, how could you do something that ridiculous?
The worst thing is it is possible that the game's been in development and they teased it with a fake timeline and they've really managed to keep the secret.
They're like, guys, it's early production.
Right.
These idiots believe it.
Look, do I think a secret like that is staying secret? No, I don't think so. Is it possible? Maybe, if anyone was to do it, Insomniac.
Yeah.
But
I want to see more of the Dead Space remake. That's what I want to see. Because we've only seen, we're like, oh, the Dead Space remake is being made. Show us more. Show us more.
So the problem with that for me, as like, again, someone that doesn't like horror, I really liked the Dead Space games.
Yeah.
Because they only made 2, unfortunately.
That's how it is. You know, sometimes it happens.
My concern is that they will make the game less horrific because of, like, you know, the current generation of people. Like, when we were kids, like if you were ever on, like, an OG Xbox Live lobby, you got toughened up real quick.
Yeah.
You know? And today, you need therapy.
Like, I'm gonna sue you for the emotional damage
Right.
you've done to my son.
And so a little bit of me worries that like, I was going to say innocent, but I mean pure.
It is tough to assume that they won't touch anything and keep it good,
Right.
because of the way they treated the Mass Effect collection. They removed, don't get me wrong, the butt stuff. While it wasn't necessary in the first thing, it wasn't necessary to remove it.
Exactly,
No one
yeah.
cared.
Actually,
No one gives a shit. It's like they, in the GTA collection, which we'll talk about a little bit later, they removed one of the bad guys, the arms dealer.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy. You're meant to not like him
Yeah.
because he's a bad guy. He's wearing a Confederate flag T-shirt. They edited out the Confederate flag. It was like, he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
no
we don't
one,
want it to be offensive. No, he is offensive. You're supposed to not like
You're
this guy.
supposed to not like him, and then him wearing that just solidifies that.
I wanna state this point. I'm gonna frame it this way. So when we did Anime Club, I specifically stayed away from anime that do like the fan service thing, like the jiggly boobies.
That's
and all
why
that
it
stuff.
never took off. That's
Right.
why the guys hated it.
And because honestly, I really don't like that stuff, and I've said this before, people don't get it. I think they don't really get what I mean. I'd rather watch a hentai than a fan service anime because at least it's honest about what it's showing, right?
Someone needs to clip that out, by the way.
Oh,
Just,
mate.
needs to be a thing right there.
I feel like if anyone's going to clip anything, it should be my rant about the Monica Lambo hentai rap. I would totally do that. By
I
the way.
need that.
Just get us to our 1 million subs. But from Miranda, her whole point in the game, I don't want to ruin her character, but the point of her is that she's sexy,
Yeah.
and I do mean that is like it's almost malicious.
I remember you telling me it's like she's been genetically engineered to
She's a honeypot.
be the best at everything. And one of those things is to be able to sway guys.
She is
and
supposed to
whatnot. That's the way it
be
is.
as strong as like, for human beings, because obviously like she's never going to compete with like Grunt or Rex, you know, like they're a different species, they're too strong, but she's supposed to be as strong as a human could be, as beautiful, as sexy. She's got enhancements, like all sorts of stuff.
Intelligence and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
she's
I
basic. I mean, she's basically a super spy, basically, right? She's not hot by accident. She's hot because she's been genetically modified and I believe surgically altered as well.
Standard.
Like she's supposed to be the most gorgeous. Like that's her purpose
Right.
before she joins the crew.
So like, oh my god, her butt is making her look sexy. Well, we can't have that.
She's literally supposed to be. It kind in a weird way, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, bonk horny jail. It kind of helps build her character because it's. I believe that those booty shots are pretty early on, and that's how the game and you and Shepard and everybody sees Miranda. But by the end of the game, you're not doing the booty shots because she's established herself as a character and having worth and value and interests and as a love interest and as a character. It changes over the game.
Yeah.
You don't get those booty shots at the end. It's not like, oh, we beat the bad guys, Miranda booty. It's not how the game goes.
Yep, this is unfortunately the world that we live in.
It just bugs me. So I'm concerned about the Dead Space remake.
It's possible. Hope I see more of it. Hope it stays the same. Let's see.
Now, if they want to make Isaac a big busty thing, you know, we could talk about that.
We can talk about that.
We can talk about that.
Give us some modern community. Get on
Right.
that. We'll see what we can
Right.
do. Let's move on to the next couple of nominations. So, best game direction is the next one. Deathloop, It Takes Two, Returnal, getting some love finally. Psychonauts 2 and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Good options there.
Of the picks that we have.
Exactly, of the picks that we have. From what I've played, I could.
So I haven't played Psychonauts. Obviously, anything that's on Xbox I haven't played.
Because no one wants to.
Right, of
I'm not
course.
messing with it.
I think of that, I might actually give it to... I haven't played Deathloop, but it's from your
what you say, maybe Deathloop, or maybe actually Ratchet and Clank, but only
was
because
gonna say
I
those
know
two as
Ratchet
well.
and Clank.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people will be like, "Oh, it's a kids' game or whatever," but especially because I know the characters and get to see their progression, how it's handled,
Yeah.
especially if you don't know them, and handling this brand new character or pair of characters.
Yeah.
I think it's done pretty well.
I was gonna say that'd be those are my 2 picks as well
Yeah.
for those. Best indie game. This is a big one.
Okay.
12 Minutes,
Yeah.
Death's Door, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, and it is Kenna. Just so you
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
know. Inscription, Loop Hero. I haven't played the last 2 myself. Kenna Bridge of Spirits, very strong contender there. I think it was a very good one, and you loved it. I know you did.
I'm a big fan.
Death's Door won tons of like awards for like the best in terms of like critics and whatnot, getting 9s and 10s out of 10s.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of really fun gameplay of it. It looks like a very good game, so I'm suspecting that might win it. 12 Minutes, however, is one of these ones I think is going to go unnoticed.
Yeah.
I think it was a good game, and the acting in it was fantastic because it obviously had Steve
Some of the best,
McAvoy, Willem Dafoe,
Yeah.
Daisy Ridley. But because it's not conventional, it was top down, and it was more like point and click, really, that kind of thing. I think it's going to lose. But that is such a good game.
What's the award,
Hope it
sorry,
gets
just to be clear?
Best indie,
Best indie. Yeah, see, it's not like best written or
Yeah.
anything like that. Yeah.
best acted, or something like that.
Yeah.
The next game, best narrative. All right, Deathloop has a fantastic narrative so far.
Okay.
It Takes Two, Life is Strange, True Colors, another one I want
I
to play
suspect
before the
that
game
will
is.
win, by the way.
It seems good from what people are saying as well. It's really good. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, one I slept on, and I fucking hate it.
Well,
but
because
I
we
will
thought
be
it was
fucking-
going to be frickin' what was that
Marvel's
other game?
Avengers.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be Marvel's Avengers. From what we saw when it was revealed, it looked garbage.
Yep.
And apparently, everybody has said it's really good. Even Wames, who hates good things, has said it's good.
Who has terribly bad takes, by the way.
He does.
You know he has a fear of.
I do know, and I saw that.
Yeah, but I just sent that to him as a picture. Oh god!
Please
so
put that
good.
up on screen so that people know what we're talking
There
about.
you go,
Yeah.
guys. He has a fear of things in a large body of water.
Things that you can't see that are in a large body of water. It's a really very weird, very specific.
Even when he
fear.
tries to explain it, it's hard to understand. And he's like, I just don't like it. It's just like, where is it? Is it there? Is it not there? How big is it? I don't know.
But then I have questions about this fear, which I want to ask him. Like, would he have ice in a Pepsi if you can't see the? If you can't see the ice?
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Right? Like lemonade, yes, because I can see it. But you know what I mean?
in a
Like,
Pepsi. Oh, I can't see anything. It's all
Right.
dark. So yeah, and also Psychonauts is also in that
Yeah,
best
yeah.
narrative thing there. I personally, quick little prediction. I think it's gonna go to. I think it's gonna Life is Strange. I think it's gonna be.
I
Life
think
is
it will
Strange.
go to Life is Strange.
Best art direction. Deathloop has a fantastic art
it
direction.
looks quite interesting. Yeah,
However, Kenna Bridge of Spirits.
that's way better.
That's good
artistically,
looking.
yeah.
Psychonauts, unfortunately, doesn't look that good. So I don't know if it
Yeah.
will, but it's the art direction at the end of the day. Ratchet and Clank looks
See, that's
phenomenal.
funny. I don't think Ratchet and Clank should be in this.
But it's not an art direct. Its art
Yeah.
direction is different.
Right.
That's the thing.
and
I
that's
think,
the
I
thing.
think it's just classically gorgeous.
I think everybody's going to get on our case early on when we said Forza shouldn't be in the best game decision. But like we're pretty fair. I've really loved Ratchet and Clank, but it shouldn't be in best art direction.
Listen, they're gonna ignore everything we say that's bad about Sony
That,
to fit their
I
narrative.
forgot.
That's
yeah.
what's gonna happen. We
Yeah.
can't be. They've already pegged us. Hey, wait.
Oh,
They've
yeah,
already
wait.
pegged us as Sony ponies.
Yeah.
So when we say something bad about Xbox, they'll clip that out, put that together,
Yes.
montage,
Yeah. That's right.
and
That's
then
right.
get rid of all that
It's
Sony.
just an
nonsense
essay
anymore.
about why we don't like Xbox.
Exactly. The Artful Escape as well, which a game I haven't even heard of.
I haven't
actually.
heard of that.
Annapurna, okay. Best music and score. Now this is a controversial one.
Yeah. Okay.
Best music and score. Deathloop, Near Replicant version 1.22474487139.
Frickin' Square! I told you. Also, that would probably be my pick.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, which is
Oh,
unfair.
that doesn't count.
Unfair.
That doesn't count. You
They
can't
didn't
do that.
They didn't make their music.
Yeah,
They
you
just
can't-
took all the 80s tracks and
oh,
stuck
wait,
it
hold
in
on.
there.
What's the name of the award?
Best score and music.
See, it's the and music that gets it in there. Best score. God damn it.
The Artful Escape and the controversial one,
Okay.
Cyberpunk 2077. Now, I said this on Twitter. It really does have great music in it.
Yes, it does.
It is iconic. I put the GIF out and I was like, tell me you can't hear this GIF.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it has great music. It has a great aesthetic. Everything about it visually and auditorily
Oh, that's a word.
is perfect.
Is perfect.
Oh, shit.
However,
The game's garbage.
Putting a game of that garbage and that broken, who shook the industry and shook everybody's trust in any publisher, up for a nomination for any sort of award. Just what the fuck type of world are we living in? What do you do?
I think it wins.
It probably will.
I think it's got the best music.
That's gonna be the bar. It's gonna be people are gonna be at the game.
What was the
Awards
list
like-
again? What was the list? What's the whole list?
And the nominees for Best Score of Music: Deathloop, Near Replicant, The Marvels of Guardians of the Galaxy, The Artful Escape, and Cyberpunk 2077. And the winner is Cyberpunk 2077. Down, ding, 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 flips the table.
Right. Oh man,
That's how it's gonna be.
I think so. I haven't actually played Nier yet. I mean to,
Yeah.
but I know the kind of game that it is.
It's
almost
very much your game. Very much your
almost
kind of game.
always has a score you could put into the award. So had they not put Cyberpunk in there, probably would have said, having not even played it, I would bet on Nier.
Yeah.
I think Cyberpunk definitely has the best music, which I hate because. You know, I've said the problem with Cyberpunk is like it's so easy to put down.
Yeah.
I haven't even deleted it. It's just that forgettable. That's how I don't have enough
to
strong
even delete
emotion
it.
about it other than Pan Am to even delete it yet.
Yeah.
Like it's such a bizarre thing. And I can't believe it got a nomination for anything. Just the boldness of that move.
Ridiculous.
I know I
right?
kind of wanted to win just to see the reaction.
I wanted to win as well. Please, dear God, somebody, all those people that are paid behind the scenes, please just fudge the numbers like you do and put,
I just want to see
him in there.
I just want to see Jeff Keighley say Cyberpunk and then do the smile that he does.
It's like Cyberpunk 2077, guys. Oh God! You know, if it was us hosting that, and we was to
I'd
like,
crack up. Man.
we'd
I
be-
wouldn't be able to hold
I'd be
character.
like, no, you do it. I can't read it. I
Yeah,
can't
read it. Read it. Do not. I'm not saying this. I don't want this clip of me on the internet.
This is gonna be my face with
Yeah.
this. No.
Let me tell you who didn't win. It was they didn't win.
It wasn't these other guys.
You
Yeah,
know who are. Yeah. Well done.
Best audio design:
Okay.
Deathloop. Actually, very good. I did like the sound. The music was really good. Also, the gun sounds. Very meaty, very cool like that. Forza Horizon 5.
Oh, we can't win an award. It's a racing game. They're not allowed to win anything.
We did say at the beginning of this, audio
Oh yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah.
could be something it wins. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
I don't feel like it should be in here.
I mean, the guns sounded okay. Like beep beep beep.
But the problem is,
it
it's
wasn't
all-
that great.
The other thing is that they're all you have no frame of reference for it.
Yeah.
So like it's easy to make something completely from scratch fit, but if somebody like people have an idea of what guns sound like, what cars sound like, so that has to really sound right. So
Yeah.
I feel like Ratchet and Clank can't win this.
Resident Evil Village. Nothing stood out to me on that, but
I think you have to get to the end scene where you get Lady D clapping. You know, make right.
that. Yes, that reminds me of the time I was in Las Vegas. Yes,
Right.
That I was clapping as
your
well.
hands clap. Right.
And Returnal, I think should win this one. If Forza doesn't win it, which I think is really good because their audio design is fantastic, Returnal should win this because each one of the different biomes, each one of the different areas that you go into, whenever you're near any one of the new enemies, there's one where you're underwater and the whole audio changes from that point. And one where there's one of these aliens that's playing on a church organ essentially on top of a tower, and when you go inside the tower, the echo changes.
Sick.
When you're outside, it's different. It's fucking fantastic. So if Forza doesn't win it for the cars, which cars sound great, you know,
Yeah.
then it needs to go to Returnal. That's what it needs to go to. Best performance. Now this is a good one. I hope I pick right on this one.
Okay.
I might butcher some names, so here we go. Erica Mori as Alex Chen from Life is Strange True Colors.
Yeah.
Juan Giancarlo Esposito
Yeah.
in Anton Castello in Far Cry 6.
Yeah.
Apparently his acting was quite dead
Really?
in that game.
Because he's so good.
I don't know. I didn't play Far Cry
Although
because I don't support rapist companies. But you
I
know.
will also say, from my experience, Juan Hernandez Taco Despacito
exactly
is a live action actor.
yes,
And it is a very different thing. Like, there is a reason that voice actors are really people who are fans of voice actors are fans of voice actors and always talk about how incredible they are, because voice acting is its own entire skill set. You know, and
it's difficult as fuck.
it's not easy, man. And
Yeah.
and also they do a bunch of different voices. You know, when we talk about Laura Bailey getting death threats for Abby,
Yeah,
like, people are like, oh, she's Abby, she killed Joel. No. Like, if anything you've watched, you're a fan of Laura Bailey. You
Yeah.
just don't. You might not know it.
you don't realize
She's
it.
Lady Troy Baker.
She's done all of your
Yeah.
shit. She's done all your shit.
So I don't know if it's that or if it was just a shit game all around, because it might have just been shit direction.
Yeah, it might have been. But I
know?
mean, it's Ubisoft. What do we
Yeah.
expect? Jason E. Kelly as Colt Vaughn in Deathloop. I
Okay.
loved Colt in Deathloop. He was fantastic. Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitri.
Yep. I'll do it.
In Resident Evil Village. She was another fantastic one as well.
Yeah, so talented.
So talented. I'm gonna butcher his name. Ozioma Akaga as Juliana Blake in Deathloop, the woman in the
Okay,
in the
yeah.
line. Again, another fantastic one as well there. I personally do think that Jason Kelly is going to win it, the Cult of Deathloop. I personally feel like that's going to be the winner, but we'll see how that goes there. And that's the most important ones that I feel for us. I'm not going to go through all of them, otherwise it'll be a 4-hour show.
Yeah.
Because of how bad we are with staying on topic. But I think it's going to be a decent show. Some interesting choices there. Kind of a light year in comparison to things like 2018 and whatnot.
Or 2019.
Even 2019. But we'll see what happens. Remember, we are going to do a dedicated episode where we do all of our predictions of what will win, what we feel like our predictions were for Game of the Year, what our Game of the Year should be.
Yeah.
That'd be a big old episode, that one there. Look forward to that. And also predictions of what's going to be announced, surprise announcements. Apparently there's going to be 40 to 50 games shown off at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
It's going to be at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, I'll be up.
You will be up. That's true.
So
there we go. All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about the Game Awards, or should we move on?
no, it just feels like a sad year.
It does feel a bit sad.
And
doesn't
not
it?
like, don't get me wrong, there are some great games that came out, but it just feels like not enough, or they weren't meaty enough, or I don't know, something just feels off this shit.
I agree.
Anyway, so basically 2019, fingers crossed 2022 will be as good.
Yes.
There was nothing in between.
Nothing in between. We just delete those years. Our next topic. This week was the 20th anniversary of Xbox. Happy birthday, Xbox!
Yay! Well done,
Happy-
you survived 20 years making that money.
There we go.
I'm sorry.
I've never really been an Xbox guy. I've owned Xbox consoles in the past,
Yeah.
but I've never really played them. It's always been for a reason. I bought
Yeah.
one for a 4K Blu-ray player,
Yeah.
and that's really it and whatnot. You've played on Xbox,
Yeah.
though. How have you enjoyed your years as those short years as Xbox fan? What are your brightest memories? What have you loved about it? What have you...
I had the OG Xbox, the second one, and the 360. That was
Yeah.
my progression. They were good fun, man. Those first three, I think it was first three, or maybe first three.
Yeah.
They were good fun. Also, the OG2 remind me a lot of the N64. They had like that. Some of them had like the clear plastic. It was like very like
Nice.
early 2000s ish. You know, like late 90s.
Yeah.
They were great. They were really good. And then I'm so glad we didn't get the one. That would have been a huge mistake.
That would have been a huge mistake.
I just the funny thing is, I used to think of myself when the 360 was out. I was like a 360 gamer. I had a PS3, and I had it to like play games with you guys. But I've always had PlayStations, and I always thought of myself up to that point as an Xbox gamer. But then thinking back on it, I had the PlayStations for the titles, and I had the Xbox for COD and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't really
The
play.
multiplayer was superior on Microsoft Xbox.
Yes.
For the longest time.
Yeah, and
For the
don't get me
longest
wrong. At that time, there were other good games. Obviously, Halo had incredible stuff. Fable, freaking Dead Space, but I don't know, it just I do miss those days. I do miss those days where it was viable to be on Xbox, and it wasn't a case of like, oh well, there's a million titles, you only want to play 5, but there's a million that you could play. Like, no, there's good reason to have an Xbox. If you like gaming and not just online stuff, there's a good reason to have an Xbox. I do miss that because, yeah, there's a lot of games, okay, for variety, but like, how many of them are punchers? How many of them, if they were going to go into a fight for your life, would you bet money on?
Yeah.
Because I'd bet my life on, in this metaphorical boxing match, Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us, God of War. Like, how many more titles would you bet, going up against what on Xbox? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it used to be that that was the case. And oh my God, the 360 UI was so good.
Yeah.
Even now, I actually still wish we had that.
Now all we have is this. We ranted about it last week about how the UI on the PS5.
Oh God,
is
it's
terrible,
garbage.
so everyone-
It's garbage.
By the way, what's really funny, in the live premiere,
Yeah.
Dan popped in and we was talking about it, and he said he hates the goddamn UI the exact moment that you said it, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't even know he was gonna say that." I was
Yeah.
like, "I don't know. Are you happy now?
Right.
You've aligned yourself with Sheps.
Well done, Dan. Finally.
You've ruined your life. All credibility gone out the window." I did ask some of the guys as well what their like favorite memories are,
Yeah.
if they have any. Corwin writes in and he goes, I first jumped into Xbox in the summer of 2020. I played Halo Reach for the first time as my first Halo and was honestly blown away even at the first level. Can't believe I missed out on it for so long. So the guys think that.
Mate, OG Halo, even look, Reach, they really did only make 3, but Reach is a good like sub DLC almost.
Yeah.
People look, people skip on Halo for some reason. That you did for
I did, yeah.
how many years? Like, I miss those days. I miss Halo.
I do go a lot off of like public perception of it
Yeah.
and whatnot. And the public perception of Halo, while people know it as a Titan, it's more of an old Titan that's been in a slumber forever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really care.
Right. Don't make this thing up.
Same way I felt about God of War. I haven't played all of it, and Black Sheep keeps on coming at me for this, and fucking rightfully so. I haven't played any of the God of War games before God of War 2018. And I am only interested now because of how big it is now. So it's one of those things I feed off of.
Let
the
me
perception
temper you a little bit. I have played the OG trilogy. They're good. They're okay.
Yeah.
It's more of like a hack and slash side scroller in a sense. That's not side scrolling, but think of it more like that. And do not look at it to give you any kind of story in the sense that God of War 2018 gave you.
I sense a correcting Conbrosations coming from Black Sheep. He's gonna be like, "How dare you?"
They're
say
great. They're great. Look at it as like a trilogy of games that gives you more depth into seeing exactly what Kratos is avoiding turning back into in 2018. Because having played those games, when you see there's that moment on the boat where he goes to like touch Atreus on the shoulder but then pulls his hand back. Knowing those 3 games, you know why. Because this is a guy who was like driven mad and murdered his family and then went around, spent the next 3 games, oh my God, murdering the entire Greek pantheon who are also his family. So he breaks anything he's near, and knowing that, when you replay that moment, you're like, man, I know why he's doing that. It's not that he's an awkward father, it's that he's the god of destruction.
He thinks that anything he touches is going to break.
Yeah.
I
Any
think
family he has dies.
I think I should play it because it's going to add even more context to the next game, because there's even that one scene in the trailer where Atreus goes, "Stop thinking like a father, think like a general," and he's like, "No!" And I guess it's because of some...
Well, yeah, he's a Spartan. I think he's a general or colonel. So he's pretty high up in the Spartan army.
And I think it's because of the PTSD of what he did in all the other games and whatnot. So I feel like I should play it for that reason. Anyway,
that's the thing as well, because he has seen a lot of war. He was a Spartan warrior, and then went to war with the gods. Like, he knows warfare.
Yeah.
If there's anything Kratos knows, it's fighting at every level, like from military campaign to doing the battle to one-on-one fights. Like, that's the one thing he's the expert on. So in that sense, it builds it up. But it's sort of like, when we talk about All Might in My Hero Academia, you learn about how... Hold on, seriously.
With you.
But like, you learn about how powerful he was by the stuff he can't do, not the stuff you see him do, right? And in that same way, I think you'll get a grip of Kratos in the stuff that what he could be doing, and he isn't. So you're getting it adds depth in a weird way because he isn't doing something. Yeah.
Okay. I feel you.
Or he's trying, like, the whole way through that game, he's trying to avoid fights, even though he can win.
Yeah.
Because I think he's actually really afraid of, the whole Spartan rage. I think he's terrified of it.
Yeah, you would be, right? It's like he's losing control almost. It's not... Right. And that's what he tries to teach Atreus this whole time.
It's like always control.
Control. Anger is a useful tool, but only when you control
right.
them. Right,
because that is the first 3 games. It's just he's driven mad and then lets loose. Yeah. And he kills all the gods, which that bit's justified, but the whole reason he's doing it is because he's driven mad and didn't have control in the beginning. So in that sense, it's worth it, but like, don't expect it to
I do suspect that the story is going to be completely like there's going to be a gap between it, but I think it's going to be worth it for the contextual things that adds.
I think
there.
That's right. Yeah.
So as we was talking about Xbox and whatnot, while it was a great birthday celebration for everybody, and do I talk about that? Yeah. While it was a great birthday celebration for everybody and all Xbox fans in general, unfortunately it was soured and stained a little bit by the typical Xbox / Phil Spencer hypocrisy. For example, the 20th anniversary Xbox Special Edition controller was put up for sale on the birthday as well.
I saw that.
And it was a beautiful translucent looking green and like dark black I'll put it up on screen right now controller. I saw it when they announced it before and I said this was like a fantastic controller. I would definitely buy one of these if I used the Xbox controller. Some people said it didn't look as good, but I still maintained it was great. A few people got theirs, like industry people. And it I
saw these pictures.
It looks great. However, it has 2 problems. One of them, under the battery cover, there is a printed signature of none other than Phil Spencer.
I just don't get it.
Having a suit...
thank you.
Sign a product you have paid for...
Right.
...is a new level of cringe I've not experienced.
That is so arrogant. Also... When you're playing games, I don't want Phil Spencer that close to Magentaman sausage.
Stay away, Phil Spencer, from my stuff.
Yeah, that produces quality.
Yeah, but just like you said, the arrogance.
And what a suit to think that anyone cares.
Famous person, no problem. The guy who invented the controller, cool.
Yeah.
A guy who literally just calls shots in a company.
Right.
A guy who's being paid millions of dollars to decide your gaming future.
Well, also, like, a suit signature, arrogant. The signature of any of the bunch of suits. So, like, all the engineers that made the console.
Right. The fucking engineer that came up with the thing that makes the Xbox great, whatever it might be, like the cool cooling system. Yeah. Whatever it might be. No.
Like, you could have had 50 of the top most important or influential whatever signatures on there, slightly engraved so that they like it's not going to be uncomfortable, but you're like, oh, if you really pay attention to this texture here, including Phil Spencer, fine. That would actually have been really kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know how you get like a shirt signed by everybody on the team? Yeah. That kind of thing. But just Phil? Nah, that's... I don't know, man.
As well as that
I don't know.
Cringe thing, in my opinion,
that's
right
rough,
there. It also has a quote that was coined by Phil Spencer, which says...
For gamers, by gamers, the gaming, pro-consumer.
Almost as bad. It says, when everybody plays, we all win. Which is...
Hold on a minute!
A great quote, because it's all about inclusivity, breaking down barriers, and making games accessible to everyone, not just Xbox.
And that's exactly what Phil Spencer is against.
Which is what Xbox actually did. They spent a small fortune of $8 billion recently.
Small fortune, yeah?
A small
That's
fortune.
more money than some countries' GDP.
A big fortune of $8 billion specifically to keep all of the publishers' games away from a specific group of people. barefaced cheek
Bro.
to do that.
This guy has read, I think it's from like the 1960s, but there was the CIA field agent manual that's out there. And one of the very first things is like, if you get caught, deny everything, admit nothing, make counter accusations.
There you go. He
Right?
does
And
seem like he's read that, right?
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you to get away with stuff. Like, admit nothing. Hey, we're doing great.
You do the bad thing. It's like, I want gaming for everyone. But
Right.
you just did this thing over here. No, I didn't.
No. It's for gaming's for everybody.
Gaming's for everybody.
Yeah,
That's
make
what
counter accusations.
I
Sony
said-
anti-consumer.
I said gaming's for everyone.
Right.
But then you took away all these.
Yeah, but I said it. Right.
And what makes this even worse?
Oh god, it gets worse.
The exclusivity for Elden Ring. Sorry, Elden
Oh,
Ring.
yeah,
Elden
yeah,
Ring.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah. I know what
Elder
you
Scrolls
mean,
6 might be possibly confirmed to be Xbox and PC exclusive.
Right.
It was up in the air until now, and what's really bad about that as well, on top of that, is that he said when they acquired Bethesda
Yeah.
that games with legacy on other platforms will continue, but wasn't very specific. So we had to assume a bunch of things. We're like, okay, Elder Scrolls has been on PlayStation. Is that going to continue?
Well, except what does he
Skyrim's
mean by
been-
legacy? Does he mean a game that is on both consoles that is currently being serviced will continue to be serviced, or does he mean a franchise that has titles will continue to put out the new titles?
It was
Yeah,
all ambiguity.
It's all suit talk.
He's very media trained. That's what I like to call him. Media trained is when
Yeah.
you're like,
in the
he knows
absolute
exactly
most
what to say.
derogatory way possible. He's
Yes.
media trained.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, it looks like it might be the exclusivity might have been hinted at. Although that's what the industry's saying. I want you to make your own decision about it. So I'm going to read the paragraph
Okay,
that he said.
okay.
I don't understand what the fuck this all means. So
Okay.
he goes, I took this from a GQ article in an interview he did with
Yeah.
him, and it says, for that reason, exclusivity has been the elephant in the room ever since the buyout. It's been confirmed that next year's Starfield, arguably the biggest game of 2022, will
Okay.
be Xbox and PC only. Spencer says he sees the same for Elder Scrolls 6. Now, he doesn't. That's not his quote. That's what the guy's saying
Right.
about what he said. So he goes, in his eyes, Xbox is the whole experience. Xbox Live, Game Pass, cloud gaming, friends list, save states. And this is his official quote. He says, it's not about punishing any other platform. Like, I fundamentally believe all the platforms can continue to grow. End quote. He says, and then the quote starts again, but in order to be on Xbox, I want us to be able to bring the full complete package of what we have. And that would be true when I think about the Elder Scrolls 6. End quote.
Well, firstly, is this bastard saying that there should be games you can only play on a certain ecosystem? Because that would be anti-consumer.
But hold on a second. Let me have a look at his quote. When everybody plays,
Interesting.
we all win.
Interesting.
So that wouldn't be everybody, right?
That would seem to exclude somebody. Yeah.
Our boy Isak writes into a Discord server just like you guys can. And he says, I've already gone on a rant about Elder Scrolls 6 exclusivity, both here and on Discord and on Twitter. So I'll just say, so I'll say is that both Phil Spencer and Xbox hypocrisy infuriates me. I wouldn't be as mad if they don't just post bullshit like this for everyone to see.
Yeah.
And what he says by this is there's a tweet by Xbox. It was I can't remember exactly where it was from, but it was a reply to something, and it was saying the real gaming horror is gatekeeping.
Yo, yeah, I saw that.
You mean like purchasing an entire
Like what
company
you're
to
doing.
gatekeep a bunch of games from?
Right.
Yeah.
What you're doing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and there is a difference here, because people could... I know someone's going to say, but Sony does this too. No, actually, not quite true. Sony purchases IP and then buys a company that makes them great IP.
And crucially, they don't go around and say, no, everyone's going to have this.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to have this.
Right.
We want everyone to have it. And then go and make it exclusive. They make their exclusive games. They may purchase a studio to make exclusive games. They just do business. They don't turn around and say, we are better than those people because we don't keep things from
They just
you.
make good games
and then keep things from
to
you.
play on the PlayStation. So again,
It's the hypocrisy
Yeah, I was
that
gonna say.
pisses us off, not the exclusivity.
like
I don't care if they're exclusive. Hypocrisy.
I think Starfield, and I've actually said it. I think I've said this. I don't think it should come to PC for the first 6 months. I think it should be on Xbox. You want to push Xboxes? That makes sense to me.
It would be a killer for Xbox. It'd be like, oh yes,
Right? We don't. First of all, I mean, we don't know anything about the game, but I have no problem with a brand new IP being exclusive. That makes total sense to me. That is a good business move. Please make good stuff that you can only play on the Xbox. That is a good thing. I'm all for it.
yeah.
But complaining that PlayStation stuff is exclusive and then saying that gatekeeping is bad and everybody wins when everybody plays and then buying stuff specifically to take it away, that's an issue. Also,
Yeah.
it seems like bad business to make ElderScrolls.
This is what makes it even worse. Is
Right.
that is bad business.
Right. And hypocrisy.
Bad business and hypocritical to the millionth degree.
Yeah, it's
This is,
stupid.
you are genuinely leaving a ton of money on the table just to spite people. That's what you're doing. It's a person. It seems personal. Almost
does
that he
feel it,
wants to do
yeah.
that, and I get why. It's because Xbox is such a big brand because it's attached to Microsoft,
Yeah.
and they're getting smacked by such a small brand, PlayStation, being attached to Sony. That's
Yeah.
what it is. They've taken it personally. They're
Yeah.
like, how can we be beaten? Do you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna flex our muscles, i.e., our money.
Yeah.
So they've turned it into a personal thing.
Well, they
Whereas
misunderstood the fight.
if they decided to go for money, they would make a ton of it.
Yeah.
Like, we are the guys who make Elder Scrolls.
But what they don't get,
Give us your
what
money.
they don't get is to get the money. You just build. The best way to do it is just build a good product. And this is the thing. I think they've misunderstood the fight, which is Sony aren't keeping stuff away from people.
No.
They're making stuff for their people.
Yeah.
And if Xbox just if Xbox just made good things for their gamers,
And just left it at that,
right,
it'd be fine.
right.
But don't turn around and go, we're making it for everyone.
Everybody wins when everybody games, and gatekeeping is awful, and then specifically purchase the property to put the gate there. You know?
Yeah.
Like, again, it is the hypocrisy. It suits. Because we know Deathloop proved it.
Yep.
The problem at Bethesda is suits. It's management decision making, because when given a proper project and managed properly, they make a decent freaking game.
Yep.
I would say, having not played it but having had your opinion of it and seen it online, Deathloop is the best thing Bethesda's made in about 10 years.
It really is. It genuinely is. It's the
Probably
best,
more like
best
7 years,
published
but
game
like-
that we've done.
Right. Is that because of Bethesda? No, it's the same Bethesda.
Yeah.
How was it the project was managed differently?
I would be very interested to see what happens next from those guys at Arcane Studios,
Yeah.
because this game, as much as people, it's funny because some people online want to say, yeah, Deathloop's an Xbox game. It's like, yes, I get it. It was purchased,
Published by.
They're owned by Xbox.
Yeah, published by, yeah.
It's like in football, right? If someone's run all the way up to the goal, the ball's going into the goal, and then you stand next to the ball, and it's like, that's my goal.
Yeah, you're the.
That was
the
my
last
goal.
Touch on it.
That was my goal. It's like, no, it was going in. It was
Yeah.
just because they purchased them a month before it released, it doesn't make it their thing.
Right.
They had no input.
Yeah.
The next game they come out fully 100%, I'll say, is theirs, good or bad. They'd take that. Can I ask you, did that quote where he says, I'm going to read it one more time, it's not about punishing any other platform, like I fundamentally believe all platforms can continue to grow, but in order to be on Xbox, I want us to be able to bring the full complete package of what we have, and that will be true when we think about Elder Scrolls 6. Does that sound like it is going to be exclusive to Xbox and PC?
That sounds to me like he's a suit, so probably timed exclusives.
Yeah?
Yeah, probably timed exclusives, and some stuff like when you get like where you buy like a collector's edition or something like that, you get certain skins that can only be got if you purchased it early or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Probably stuff like that as well.
Maybe. The thing is, they did the same dancing around exclusivity when it came to Starfield, and then that turned out to be exclusive. Just
Starfield makes
stop
sense.
dancing around it.
Yeah, just say it.
Fucking, we don't care. Just tell us the truth,
Just, yeah,
and then we're fine. And I don't
Have some
understand.
dignity and tell us the truth.
That's the thing. It seems gutless.
Yeah.
It seems gutless. Do right by your customers, by the people who are on Xbox. Tell them what they have to expect, and then they can talk about it. They can rave about it. Right now, they're really starving for
Yeah.
content. And if you tell them we've got X, Y, and Z coming exclusive to you, nowhere else, look forward to it, they can be happy. You might sell a few fucking consoles as well when you do it that way. Instead, when I think about Xbox...
Right. Well, also, because they are doing this gatekeeping stuff, they have to dance around the subject.
Yep.
Sony doesn't do... And I'm not... This isn't a Sony loves you more.
That's actually why, isn't it?
Yeah, because Sony just makes good products for their console.
And there's no question.
Right.
It's just done.
But because they are implementing this gatekeeping, they now have to try and change that discussion and start talking about stuff.
Because they've got such a narrative of we're for everybody.
Right.
But then they're gatekeeping.
And then complaining that Sony are making products for Sony customers. You know, like, so that's the issue. And hopefully people, including us on the Sony side, Sony ponies, won't let the discussion be changed, because we did that before. We allowed them to change the discussion about not having any games that are only next gen because they had no games, and it's hurt Horizon Forbidden West, it's hurt God of War. I think it's going to hurt a couple more titles most likely.
Yeah.
So freaking Xbox, man, they not only are they not bringing their customers anything so far, they're damaging the rest of the gaming sphere, except
the
Nintendo,
gaming
who do their own
industry is
thing.
getting fucked up because of this.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have civilized discussions anymore online about anything. It's all just a bunch of crap with stupid people blindly following anybody.
Their company.
Like, there's blindly following on each side, but I don't know how Phil Spencer has managed to do this to so many people. Anyway, we won't talk anymore about that. There is more Phil Spencer stuff to talk about, though. So in that same GQ article, he talks about Game Pass. And this is the closest we're going to get to them ever admitting that it's not profitable. Yeah. So here we go.
Well, no, we know that it needs, prior to, so like 2019, they said it needed 53 million users
this
to break
is the problem. It wasn't an official statement. It was it was a comment from someone at Xbox.
Oh, okay.
But it was, so we can't even take
Is that guy still working for Xbox, or was he fired?
To the gallows.
Right.
So they ask a question about Game Pass, and Phil Spencer responds with this. And I love how specifically worded it is. The guy's so media trained. I love it. I know there's a lot of people out there that like to write that we're burning cash right now from some future pot of gold, for some future pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. He doesn't say right, at the end, he says. And he says, no, full stop. Brand new sentence. Game Pass is very, very sustainable right now as it sits and continues to grow. That's the full quote.
Okay.
An ordinary person who maybe doesn't have the ability to break down what people like this say might go, oh, well, Game Pass is completely fine.
Would you do me a favour and read that? No breaks, just read the thing for
whole
me one
thing
more
again?
time.
I'll try and get it all without breaking up, okay? I know there's a lot of people that like to write that we're burning cash right now for some future pot of gold at the end.
Yeah.
No. Game Pass is very, very sustainable right now as it sits and continues to grow.
Interesting that, actually, now I think about that. Interesting. Very interesting. Depending what your goal is, for one. I love the idea. Oh, my God. This guy... See, in a weird way, I kind of respect him. Go on, you tell me what you got.
The things that I picked up, first of all, there are two sentences. The bit where he's saying, we're burning through cash right now for some future pot of gold at the end. No. The reason is different for burning through all those pots of cash.
Right.
That's a different thing.
I'm good. You picked up on that too.
Game Pass is very, very sustainable.
Yep. I also picked up on that.
Sustainable for a $2.7 trillion company.
Yeah,
not sustainable as a business model.
Yeah. It's not going to bring Microsoft under. They're not going to go Chapter 11 because of Game Pass.
Exactly. Anyone else would go under straight away, but however, sustainable for Microsoft.
Yeah. I'm glad you caught that as well. Yeah.
Not profitable as well.
Yes. Yeah,
Not profitable, sustainable.
And
continues to grow. Maybe growing too slow. Maybe this isn't working out.
Yeah.
As of right now, it is going up. We haven't seen it
up even because this is the thing.
Up one subscriber is still going.
That's the thing. They dropped 2 million subscribers.
Yeah.
But if it's grown since that, it's going up.
Exactly. All of these very carefully crafted words adds
never
to
said
the whole
anything
reason
about
why
it
I
being
hate
profitable.
Phil
Never
Spencer.
said anything about it making money. Never said anything about the goal for it to be a business investment, like in terms of a product investment, like a business transaction.
Yeah.
In a weird way, I kind of respect him. I kind of respect him because that is an incredibly well-crafted statement, And it seems to have been given at the time, in the moment, which is very impressive.
Impressive to be able to pull that off on the fly, right?
Right.
Granted, they probably did give him a list of questions.
They may well have.
But he had to remember everything in order.
they may well have. He also had to deliver it, and maybe the guy asks it in a slightly different way, and his curated answer has to be adjusted. I feel like if you were playing a video game, you get like those enemies that are slimes.
Yeah.
This is the king slime. In a weird way, I kind of respect him for managing to be just that despicable. Like you have to end up respecting the villain in a movie.
Yeah.
They built an empire out of nothing and all that stuff, but they're still obviously the bad guy. Like at no point has he said anything good.
Yes.
And the thing is, you could have done this. It could have been done if the goal was to. This is the problem. If the goal for Xbox was to look at Sony and say, why are they beating us handily at every turn? Let's just change to that model, and with our money, because here's the kicker: Xbox could smash PlayStation and Sony if they just adopted the right model and the right not values, because Sony is a soulless corporation as well, but the right goals. But they don't. So they could have started this with Starfield and said, look, from now on we're just going to start building the best stuff for our community, and we're not keeping anyone out. Feel free to join, but we got to make stuff for the people that buy our products.
Yeah.
So starting with Starfield, great story, great, invest in it.
Yeah.
They could have started doing that. Yeah. Instead, they started gatekeeping even harder.
I do wonder, because in this article as well, he does admit that when he started, he was the slate of IPs that they had was not enough.
Yeah.
So that's what they did. They went out and purchased a bunch of games, purchased a bunch of studios to make games and stuff like that. And I do wonder, once they do get a bunch of well-known IPs out there, the first installment's out, and they've gone, right, that one's not so good, but these 10 that we've got here are quality.
Yeah.
And then they reach the level of PlayStation, if they ever do get to that point.
Doubt it, but
I mean, like, as long as they get their own set of games where they're known for, a bit like how PlayStation's known for.
Okay, yeah.
I wonder then what they do, because then they could go back to the model of selling $60 games. It'd be very difficult, and you'd have to eat a whole bucket of humble pie.
You say that, but it seems, maybe it's because they wanted to be led in this direction, but it does seem like the majority of Xbots are very easily led by Phil Spencer and Xbox. It may be that they were easily led in a certain direction because it felt like it benefited them at the time. But if anyone can do it, it's these guys, because they managed to change the discussion for Sony.
Yes.
And ruin, I mean, again, whether on purpose or not, it was a brilliant business move.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like it was on purpose. I do think it was premeditated murder.
It did seem that way.
So,
they're smart people. They probably
maybe.
think of it.
But I do think it's going to be a much harder transition saying, you know what, Game Pass, you don't make us any freaking money.
Let's go back.
Well, again, they said it's some secret pot of gold. What if the pot of gold is not for them, it's to take it away from us, from Sony? If the goal is to make it so that was to make it so that no one wants to buy any games, and then they get everybody onto Xbox and then change the model again.
That's definitely, I can guarantee you 100%, that's definitely one of the big factors. When they put up all on the meeting, what's the pros and cons? This one was circled 3 times, and they were like,
this might be able to damage PlayStation.
This is a big pro.
The only problem, though, is that it didn't work.
No.
And then they're committed.
All the games
are
still being bought on PlayStation. Okay. That's the end of that GQ article. A lot of stuff to talk about there. Hopefully you guys will talk in the chat as well, and we can get a little nice little discussion about this. And let us know what you think in the comment section as well.
Yeah, let us know.
Interesting situation. Still, happy birthday to Xbox. I'm glad you guys are around, because it gives competition. And there is still great stuff coming out. Halo is still fantastic. I'm playing the multiplayer. It's great, as I said.
I mean, fingers crossed the rest of it is that good. The problem is, it should have all come at once.
Something we didn't mention, and also this would be a good time to put it in. Actually, the Halo Infinite multiplayer.
Yeah.
How do you? What do you think it does for the campaign having it drop like that by itself? Do you think it adds to the hype to make things better, or the way that I think it is, it leaves the campaign to stand alone directly in the line of fire
Yeah.
for everyone now for if it flops.
To that, but worse actually. So typically, now it's slightly different for Halo because Halo, for some reason, I think it's the co-op and stuff. It's just much more replayable. So like for Call of Duty, you would get it. Maybe you blast through the campaign and then you just play online for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
With Halo, you would sometimes co-op for stuff or do platinum runs or whatever, that kind of thing, gamer score stuff. Go on Forge and things. So I could see that there's a lot of people that would have bought the game, played the campaign, and then just played only the online player. And that they're probably not damaged, but like that number's limited now.
Yep.
And now, also depending on how well it progresses in the next, let's say, 6 weeks. Like, do they make adjustments to the leveling system? Do they bring in new stuff? Could leave the little cold child in the snow that is the campaign. And 343 have not done the best with the campaigns.
Yeah.
And they seem to have departed from a recipe that was... Like, it seemed impossible to ruin the recipe.
Yeah.
And then they managed it. And then they went, well, we've really fricked this. Let's completely change the recipe that everybody loves. So, could it be amazing? I hope so. Do I have faith in 343 to make an amazing campaign? So far, absolutely not.
Mm.
And this could just highlight it. And then there's the problem that, let's say the campaign shit, which after
Not
Halo
looking
5.
great.
And then there's going to be the comparison that shit campaign, let's say the online bangs.
Yeah.
Are there two teams here? Because why did this team make this?
Yeah.
And then also that?
I think
So
that
I feel like the timeline in which they win against Thanos here is one, and the rest of it is just not looking hopeful.
Yeah.
I want it to bang though. And Xbox need it. I want actually the Xbox to finally have some ammunition to throw back at us.
Yes.
Because look, we do disagree.
It's been a sad state of affairs.
We
for
do
them for a
disagree,
long
but every time the Xbox, like let's say like Super Whale Ben or Dano or stuff, they fire stuff back at us, and it gets to a point where I just feel like, obviously we'll never agree. Like you like it, we don't. You see the value proposition, we don't. But I'm just not buying these games as being worth it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to not like beating you up, but I don't want to beat a dead horse on this because you just don't have bangers.
Yeah.
And I want you to finally have something. Aha! We got Halo, and I go, shit. Good point. You do have Halo.
Yeah.
I want that discussion. It's a more fun discussion anyway. One-sided stuff's no fun.
It's also going to be.
I want Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman. I don't want Muhammad Ali versus some retired taxi cab driver that needs an extra $200. No one wants to watch that.
It's going to be very interesting as well because, like I said, we do the joke and then we do perpetuate it for fun and whatnot, stuff like that about the whole like Sony pony things like that because it's fun. It's fucking hilarious. But when they do start producing great things, and then we praise them as rightfully so. Then it's going to be very interesting to see what those idiots say. They were like, but I already had you down as a Sony pony. This
also, the funny thing is,
work.
they're always silent whenever we critique Sony as well.
And dead silent. Never heard them say anything.
You would think they'd come in and say like, aha, see? But actually it's because, no, wait, you're giving a fair and reasoned point.
You, sir, are fair.
Right, it's no fun.
Terrible, can't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do worry about what it does to the campaign.
Yeah.
However, let's talk a little bit with the guys over on our Discord server who wrote in about Halo. Speaking of the campaign, No Not Eddie, which is a show, wrote in and he said, if Halo Infinite campaign is a banger, I might get myself a gaming laptop or a Series X so I can play it and play Forza Horizon. So Sony needs to open an open world arcade racing game to be saying. I've been saying it for ages, basically because of Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
So people are waiting for this campaign to see whether or not it's good. And the multiplayer, while it's great, isn't fudging people. And it's backing up what I've been saying, that the multiplayer is good, it's great, whatever, it's cool. But it's meh. It's not in the big discussion.
The thing is,
the campaign is the big thing.
Forgetting the price difference.
Yeah.
If someone's like, I'm thinking of getting either a gaming laptop or an Xbox Series X to play this specific game on, I think I'd recommend the laptop because you can use it for other stuff. And you can't do that with the Xbox, really. I mean, maybe as a Blu-ray player, but you probably already have one of those, you know? I think I'd say the laptop. You can take it anywhere. You can do work. It could make you money.
Yeah.
You could do a bunch of stuff with it. And this is the problem with Game Pass. I don't see the reason to get a Series X. There's no reason for even Halo to push Xboxes anymore, you know? So that, it seems to be an issue to me, but anyway.
Let's move on because we're going really long right now.
Yeah, sorry.
The next thing, we're going to talk about 3 shitty companies back to back.
Okay.
One of them, Rockstar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Released the GTA Definitive Edition, the collection, everywhere. And I was having fun with it on console.
Yeah.
However, the people on PC have had a terrible time.
I've seen some of these, yeah.
Firstly, you can only purchase it on the Rockstar launcher.
Yeah.
And Rockstar decided to pull the game very shortly after release because of some confidential files that were inside the game. There was a couple of things that they just didn't remove and they just turned off rather than removing them. And people immediately, because they're on PC, fucking hacked it wide open and saw all the stuff that's inside it. They removed it from the launcher. And as well as that, when it was back up on the launcher after like 2 days of silence or whatever it is, it was buggy as hell. People on PC were not happy. People were asking for refunds to the level of Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was for people. Now, as I said, this was mainly on PC. People on console, not so bad.
Yeah.
There were some issues. The rain in San Andreas was completely opaque.
Okay.
What was it? Opaque? Yeah, opaque is not see-through, right?
Yeah.
Transparent is see-through.
Yeah,
opaque.
yeah.
Completely opaque and all over the screen so you can't see what the fuck you're doing.
Right.
Stupid mess right there. And it turns out the reason why the game is so buggy and so badly ported is because it was originally designed to be on mobile and they just ported that to console.
Oh, God.
Rockstar just did a lazy botch job of this port, this remaster, this collection, just to cash in on the nostalgia of everyone. When they could have gone all extra and made so much money and so much goodwill and been great for everyone.
Also, it's killing your long tail because what everybody talks about is how shitty it was to begin with, right? Instead of like, oh, hey, it's coming up to Christmas. It just doesn't make sense. I've seen dumb things as well. Where it's like, I think I'm not on Reddit often, but like a lot of these fails were popping up, and it was like, look at the difference 13 years makes, and it's like, I think it's San Andreas. The guy shoots the window, it cracks, and then it breaks. Yeah. And this one, he shoots the window, and it just disappeared. It's like. Also, I think I've seen a couple of images of people from like Rockstar or people defending Rockstar saying like, well, at least there's not Cyberpunk. And then man.
So bad. It's so bad.
They're just phoning it in.
It is. And I don't understand why. Because you've made so much money from GTA Online and GTA fucking physical sales alone. Yeah. You've made so much money from Red Dead Redemption 2. You're so successful. You could have set this up so you are known as the great guys, and it would have boosted the GTA franchise. And instead of giving people what they want, which is people just want a fucking GTA 6, you just give a botched job of this? I don't understand the mentality there.
The worst thing is, think about releases, right? 2018, Red Dead Redemption 2. Some people's best game of all time. Yeah. And by all standards, an incredibly good game.
Yeah.
And then this. What a way to damage your own brand. And then what's your list, right? You got, okay, these are the guys that made GTA. They made GTA 5 in 2013 or something.
Yeah.
And haven't let it die.
Yeah.
Then they made Red Dead Redemption. So we know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And then this. Like, it doesn't look good. It just doesn't. It doesn't look good, man. and then also, now, why buy the collection?
Yeah.
To get GTA 5, at least they're putting money into it. You know?
Exactly.
Again,
it's just so sad.
Again, I should say, because everybody's rebuying it. But like,
you've already bought it 4 times.
Why would you play Vice City and San Andreas and stuff? Because it's just going to ruin your memories. So you don't do that.
Yeah.
So if you do want to play GTA, well, 5 then.
You know?
It's stupid. It's stupid. It was a money printing machine. That was.
That's what infuriates me the most, is that how easy it would have been to just do things properly.
Just make it good.
Anyway, that's shit company
frustrating.
number 1.
Yeah.
Shit company number 2, although it's a weird one. I'll have to explain this as well afterwards. So Darby McDevit is coming back to Ubisoft.
Interesting career decision.
After 7 months of leaving. So he left 7 months ago and he went to go work at another company. It was like a movie company or something like that. He obviously doing a bit of writing.
Yeah.
And then he decided he's coming back to Ubisoft. Now, that could be that Ubisoft decided to cut him a big old massive check because they're
Definitely.
hemorrhaging talent over there at the moment.
Could well be that. Could
But
be
also,
the monster mastermind left.
Oh,
I was kicked out.
but I wonder what his motivations were, because it could just be money. It could just be money,
Yeah.
right? But I don't know the guy personally. From everything that the guys have told us over on the 4 Pillars, didn't seem like that would be something he's more interested in doing something great. It could just be that he's done Assassin's Creed for so long, that he loves it so much, that it is his true, genuine passion, that when he left, he was like, no, this is what I want to do. And then he went back.
Counterpoint to that.
Go on.
Similar, but it could just be that he's done Assassin's Creed for so long. He can't do anything else.
Can't function in society
Yeah,
anymore.
like, and I don't mean, I'm not
Like
saying he's
James,
not capable. Yeah.
can't function in society anymore when AC's gone. It's like, whoa, what do I do?
To be very clear, what I mean is that he's in certain kinds of habits, and that it was a lot harder for him to write stuff that like he'd been thinking about that he could do, and not stick to that formula.
It's like, right, I'm going to write a sci-fi fantasy now. Okay.
Once
so
upon a time in fairyland. Yeah.
Once
Damn it.
upon a time in ancient Greece. Damn it!
Right.
Shit. Cassandra. No.
Right. So it could, I think, likely it's a bunch of things. They offered him a ton of money because they needed the talent and the name that isn't a certain whether or not he did anything. I'm not making any comments, but he's not associated with that. He's like beloved by the population of gamers.
Yeah.
They needed the talent. They don't have to spare cash because they're not paying salaries, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe that he just actually had a harder time getting off that formula than he thought. Probably. But I mean, okay, so why is this bad company?
So, well, just because it's Ubisoft.
Oh, it's just
that's-
Ubisoft.
just 'cause
Okay,
it's
cool,
Ubisoft.
cool, cool.
I'm upset in one way. 2 ways, I should say. Upset that he's back at a terrible company before they've even done any changes.
Yeah.
If they'd done changes and went back, I'd be like,
Okay, yeah.
cool, no what. But also I'm upset because I would have loved to have seen what the next Assassin's Creed would have been
Without their lead.
the one person there
Yeah.
that's actually putting in story.
Yeah.
You know? That would have been interesting to see. Anyway, that's happening. And also, I don't know if you saw my tweet that I put up yesterday. I think Tyler has hacked my phone. And I don't know how. Because I was trying to, like, every now and again I use my phone to like put voice notes down for notes for the show. And in my True Gamer note, I put down, I said, Darby McDevit returns to Ubisoft after 7 months. Hit off. And then I look down at my phone and it says, Darby McDevit leaves Ubisoft, my definitive AC ranking and more, the Dynamite Show #1.
That is
And
bizarre.
I tried it multiple times, and then I recorded me doing it,
Yes,
so
you
there's
did, yeah.
irrefutable evidence of how it happened, and I don't get it. What have you done to my phone, Tyler? This is episode 1, so 7 months ago this shit was done.
Yeah, yeah.
And I haven't like gone back to fucking listen. Who would listen to his stuff?
No one.
I've not gone back to go listen to it on this phone, so
That's weird.
I don't get it. I
That's
just said Darby
weird.
McDevit, and it was like, oh, you must mean Dynamite Show. That's what you mean.
That's weird.
very
Freaking
strange.
upside down hacks.
Fucking loser. And the next and final terrible company, Activision. Have you heard about the issues that's
I
happening
haven't,
there?
but I'm already sold on them being shit. Yeah.
They're pretty terrible. So this happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Came out. It's quite bad. Activision CEO Bobby Kotick apparently knew about all of the sexual harassment allegations in various different studios Activision owns over the years and did nothing to help or to tell the board about. Now, they say, this is
Yeah,
the Wall
yeah,
Street Journal,
yeah.
say they have proof in form of emails that he was informed about the situation and nothing was ever done from those things right there, and acknowledges that he would full knew about all of these allegations at the time they were happening. As well as that, Jen O'Neill, who was recently appointed to an executive role after the misconduct, which everyone was sort of like, okay, it's good you've got a woman there, but is it because she's a woman that you hired, or
is it because she's good?
We don't know. We didn't know anyway. We were still like, hey, someone else is there. Maybe something will change. Left 3 months after being appointed to that position.
That sounds healthy.
And recently she spoke out to say because apparently she herself experienced sexual harassment, which is fucking terrible to think about. Like the newly appointed person, right?
Fucking hell.
That high up, like how bad does this fucking shit go? And she very quickly discovered that she was being tokenized and that she was hired out of desperation to try and make the company look good. So exactly what we thought in the beginning. Yeah. There was also, I bring this up as well, as just as a point as well, which is just to show you where their priorities are. There was one report that is really disgusting. A Sledgehammer employee was accused of rape and sexual harassment, was given 2 weeks paid leave, as you do, like a police officer or something, right?
This is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. An accusation is just one person's word against another.
True.
So I do want to...
True. Very clear. I don't know if it was ever found guilty or anything like that. It was just an accusation right there. Was given 2 weeks paid leave, and then when they returned, shortly afterward were fired, but not because of the sexual harassments, because they had an argument with a manager. If you have a sexual harassment claim against you, or a rape allegation against you, you don't get fired. You just go on paid leave. However, if you yell at a manager, whoa, that's the boss. You can't speak to the boss like that.
That's...
fucking priorities, right?
Okay.
Fucking terrible. Anyway... I'll give you one headline as well.
Oh, God. There's more?
This one is from the author of the Wall Street Journal investigation who's done this right here. This is the headline of the article. Activision CEO Bobby Kotick told an employee he would have her killed. He kept an exec from being fired after sexual harassment claim. He didn't tell the board of the allegations of rape and other misconduct.
I'll tell you this.
That's a damaging fucking headline.
If a CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company says they're going to have me killed, well, let's see if you can do it right now. I'm not going to wait around for you to make a phone call.
No, because they have all this, bro. They would kill somebody for much less.
Look,
much less.
For the record, and people think like, oh, it's not like a movie. Like, dude, you think no one's ever paid a junkie 20 quid to do anything? Like, trust me, this thing, it is real. It does sort of happen. That's why it's in so many movies. I'm not going to... No, also, like where I'm from, where I grew up, if you say something to someone like that, like, them's fighting words.
Yeah.
And also, like, that isn't just a fight. At this point, functionally, you've just told me you're going to have me killed. I'm now fighting for my life.
Yes.
I don't care that there's a glass window in the office.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take matters into my own hands.
Yeah.
And
you need to do something. That's action there.
And then I'm not calling the police. I'm calling my boys.
Yeah.
Like, you have access to unlimited money. You just told me you're gonna have me killed. I'm not saying that's inappropriate.
Oh no, you hurt my feelings. I feel really upset right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this to some professional bodies. No. Nah, bruv. That ain't how we play.
While that is all freaking terrible and absolutely deplorable.
Who tells someone they're gonna have them killed? Also, what an amateur move.
Right.
Just do it.
Is this your first day? You do that yourself. You don't tell anyone.
Yeah, you just say, we'll settle this another day. Hey, Agent 47.
Oh, he didn't come in today. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Can't finish our conversation. Oh, no.
Also, I'm not going to lie as well. I'm not setting off in the car. I'm checking my brakes and all that shit. Like,
it's like...
the guy has access to unlimited money. I'm serious. Like, seriously.
There's a car bomb in there for sure.
Right, yeah.
Gets a little bit worse for Activision.
Even worse.
But this is a good thing. This is a great move by PlayStation right here. Obviously, because we're Sony ponies, it's a great move. Our favourite reporter, Jason Schreier, reports on this one. He says, new, PlayStation boss Jim Ryan slams Activision Blizzard this morning, writing in an email to staff that he was disheartened and frankly stunned by this week's news. We do not believe their statements of response, because Activision put out a response afterwards saying, all of this stuff is not what we do now. This is not our stuff
Right,
now.
right.
This is totally different to what we are now in the current state of our company. It's like, the guy who's being accused is still running the company.
He's there now.
Anyway, it doesn't really anyone, and it goes their statement of response and address them. Well, let me say it again. We do not believe their statement of response properly addresses the situation, and apparently, he himself has written an email to the staff, to Bloomberg, and to Activision Blizzard, saying he wants something to be put in place to address the issue properly.
Good.
In business terms, that means sort this shit out now,
Yeah.
properly, or the next Call of Duty check that you receive will say 0.
Yeah. That's what that means.
That's what that says right there. And that's how to really hurt a company.
I mean, there are other things here. Like Activision, Blizzard in particular, has hit my shit list recently because having been a big WoW fan, and then the last few years they've done a lot of sketchy shit to do with the situation in China/Taiwan.
Yeah. Anyone that said anything about like
Taiwan,
anything like this, oh,
right, they just stopped them being able to play or being able to compete in any activity. Look, it's not okay, man.
No.
It's because of all the Chinese money. And to be clear, there's nothing to do with Chinese people. China, the CCP, the government, are the bad guys. If you were writing a book or a game or a story and wrote them in, people would complain that you just rebranded the Nazis. And I'm not joking.
Yeah.
They have 3 million people in concentration camps right now.
Genocide of all the was it like Muslim
they're doing the organ harvesting stuff. Like, they're the bad guys.
They're really fucking bad.
They're the bad guys.
And seeing so many companies bend to their will just
Right.
because of so much money that comes in through there, just it's like, what the
Yeah.
you
And the worst thing is, like, there's a bunch of stuff there that make some great products. Like, we've seen a bunch of games with Chinese developers, and I go and I'm like really impressed. There was that space shooter, there was the that new Monkey God thing, and I'm like, man, this looks great. Pete, I can't buy it because I'm not giving any money because it's all Chinese CCP owned. Maybe I buy it second hand, but like,
and it's so bad because the guy that's there, you're like, you look like you really love your game
yeah, they're really into it.
and you're really cool.
Yeah, we spoke to a bunch of the devs for that space shooter thing. They seemed really cool. They were really into it.
It's just your publisher. That money's directly going to funding more
To
people getting
literal
fucking killed.
concentration camps. Like, seriously, concentration camps and forced organ harvesting and stuff. Like, they're the bad guys. So Blizzard was on my shit list just for that.
That's why I liked that PlayStation reached out to all those like Chinese developers, because then it gave them options. It gave them options other than giving money just directly to them. Although they do have to go back to their country, and if they ever get found out, then they're like traitors, and then they
their
get killed.
families there.
It's just so fucked up. It's just so fucked up.
But to summarize, they're the bad guys. Like, if you wrote it in a book, no one would believe it.
Yeah.
Because they'd be too obviously the villain.
It's one of those things that you don't mention, like it's China. You say all this sort of stuff like that. You're like, okay, they do this. This person does that. The person does that. And those people's names are the CCP, government organization of China. Look,
Right.
wait, what? Hold on a second. They're like, this is real?
Yeah.
Let me just go back a few pages.
right. I need to read this. I need to check these sources.
Did I say this right?
So, Blizzard was on my shit list for that.
Yeah.
And then it turned out Blizzard had similar allegations, and Activision has this stuff. Like, this is ridiculous.
This is bad. This is ridiculous.
I think the real issue in a lot of these companies is these guys are so highly paid,
Yes.
and they get to a position, and they're, whether by luck or effort, the IPs that they make are so well viewed and so popular that they somehow get it in their heads that they can do no wrong, and because of the position of power they hold, no one tells them no, or that's not a good idea.
Yep.
And anytime they have a shitty idea and say, go get this made, there's enough talented people underneath them that work tirelessly to actually make it work, at least conceptually,
Yeah.
so that they then think it was a good idea, but they just don't get that they're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad we're not COD gamers anymore.
So glad. So glad.
And it's like, it's not just Activision. This shit's happening at Sledgehammer. Like, what is going on?
It's just how can it
Gaming
get to
became
this
Hollywood.
point?
When did that happen?
When did that happen? It was totally like people turned their nose up to gaming,
Right.
and now suddenly it's become Hollywood.
It's crazy.
Anyway,
damn
that's all the terrible companies and all the terrible shit that's going on. Add Activision to your list of companies you don't want to support. It's truly deplorable what they're doing out there. So fuck them. Let's kick over to our bros who wrote in about some of the stuff that we talked about today. Starting off with Corwin, who wrote over to patreon.com/Conbrosations, just like you guys can for becoming a patron and getting priority access. He says, Halo Infinite multiplayer is amazing. He's playing with bots. But
Halo Simulator.
Halo Simulator. Good one. I like that's what he's playing right there. After just a few hours, it's already my favorite Halo multiplayer, although the progression is stupid.
Yeah.
You only get XP from challenges and get none for completing matches. That's just honestly
That's
one
so
of the biggest.
stupid.
I don't understand. Again, it's not a secret. It wasn't something that required tons of people to find out. You needed to play for an hour and go, how much XP did you make? None.
Wait, so here's a question. Let's say you're just
we didn't make any.
beasting and you're getting like 50 kills,
Yeah.
but you lose the game. No XP. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Not even if you win the game, no XP. Because it's not.
You said.
It's only based if the challenges win the game, then you
Right.
get XP. But it's not necessarily you win the game, you were the MVP, you captured all the points,
Right,
you
right,
got
right.
1 million kills, nothing. The stupidest thing.
That's stupid.
Luckily, multiplayer games are brand new, and this was the first time ever doing it, so they didn't
Right.
have a blueprint.
They have no idea, but it's turned out this is unpopular.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
Turned out it was unpopular, lad.
What are you
What
doing?
could we do?
Also, Halo at one point was by far the most popular multiplayer game of all time
Yeah.
at the time. Kicked off MLG, Major League Gaming, like professional gaming, at least in the first-person genre. Bungie put it out. Just follow what they did.
Yeah.
Follow Bungie to make a good story. Follow Bungie to make a good multiplayer. What are you doing, 343? Seriously, what are you doing? I don't get it.
So fucking strange. Gucci Hat Luke wrote in and he says, alright lads, it's been a while, but I want your first impressions on the definitive GTA trilogy, now seeing what it actually properly is seeing it. Personally, I think it could have been done better. What do you guys think? We said a little bit about it, but let me give you my thoughts right here. I do like it. It does scratch some of that nostalgia itch and whatnot, especially just the way that cars control and guns and stuff like that. It's very, very much of the time, especially seeing all of the neon lights and the music and like Vice City. It's really great. However, they could have done very much better.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been that much harder. It would have cost money, but it would have given them so much money.
I mean, Rockstar don't make almost anything.
They don't. That's
No,
the thing,
they're
they don't.
small indies.
They're a little
Dev
indie
apps.
studio.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like 5 guys in there,
Right.
and one of them is like really bad at coding. You know, what can we say?
But he's really good friends.
But yeah, exactly. We
He's
have
a
to
good
keep
guy,
him on.
yeah.
You know, he's one of the co-founders. They could have done so much better. It's fine, and it's okay. It's just that it sucks that we had to pay for a whole new bundle to get just fine.
Yeah.
We had good enough before. And
Good
this was-
even.
Exactly. And this wasn't a massive step up. It was a step up a little
Yeah.
bit like that. And we had to pay a whole new price tag for it. That's the thing that pisses me off
Yeah,
the
I'm
most.
with you there.
Otherwise, it is still GTA. Those classic GTA games.
Yep.
There we go. Da, 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 da,
And
da.
on console, they seem to not have anywhere near. Still have some problems. But
Yeah,
not
some
nearly
problems, but
these.
not anywhere near as PC. Okay. I'm gonna read the DC Watcher, aka Alpha Aquila. He writes in. It's a bit of a long one. It's a Diogo style essay. Actually, we need to change that to Alpha style essay.
It's an alpha essay,
He's
yeah.
fucking gone beyond Diogo now. He says, my first... The way it starts is just like, you know how you go on a tangent sometimes?
Yes.
And you take 14 steps back to start your
Oh,
conversation.
yeah.
It's like that. That's what it starts with.
When I was 8 and watched my first samurai movie, and that's why I think there should be a romance between Jin
Yes!
and... Yeah.
He goes, my first console was a Sega Genesis. It was some kind of Sonic edition with those games installed and ready to plug and play.
Yeah.
It was the greatest because it means that I don't have to think myself.
He didn't have to think to himself, Sega.
Oh, because the intro.
It did it, yeah.
Apparently that was... So you know those like cartridges
Yeah.
were a certain number of megabytes. Apparently like over a third of it was that intro.
No way.
And Sega forced that upon the developers. So they were like, fuck, we could have so much more
Sega
space.
holding back gaming and we didn't even know it.
That's what I heard, right? I was like, just to be like, Sega.
Makes you wonder how much is in that. Well, that's probably why there was no audio.
Yeah.
Like no voice acting.
The actual games were so basic because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
fucking got taken up by this.
Yeah, that's why everybody goes. Yeah.
Exactly. When I read it, and then I became a Nintendo kid, so I played Lego Batman on DS, not sure which DS edition. Then I played Lego Batman 2 on DS, and then on Wii, and finally I played Lego Batman 3. He's just playing Lego Batman.
I mean, in fairness, Batman and Lego, how are you going to go wrong?
Had they made a Lego Superman, he'd be playing that, obviously.
Yeah,
but
except, bruv, Superman, they never make those games.
they're never going to make a Superman game.
Even in Lego.
Let's be honest.
No,
Let's
if
be
you want
honest.
to play as a canine from Krypton,
We'll make that for you right now.
Right.
Don't worry, we'll do that. And he played Lego Batman 3 on Xbox 360. This was my first true gamer, #true gamer console, and it was handed down to me by a family member around the time that I was the one released. The one released. Oh, the Xbox One released.
Yeah.
Okay. I played the Arkham games and the
Bangers.
first 2 games of something else that we don't talk about.
oh, okay.
Don't talk about those games.
Yeah.
And it was for the 360 generation with a lot of replays. Then I made my first console decision to buy an Xbox One S a few years ago. It came out with the first Forza game, with my
His
first
first
Forza
Forza
game,
game, yeah.
Forza Horizon 3, and I loved it. Right when I started using the one, I discovered Quantum Break, and it looked cool, so I bought it, and it came with Alan Wake, and that's how my love for Remedy began. Really
Fair
awesome
dues,
story right
yeah.
there. And I also began to play Arkham Knight. This was the first game I was excited for release. This was released back when I had the 360 and I still loved it. Loved the hype. It was the first game I completed in previous generation just over 4 years ago now. This was also back when I was focused on one game at a time. Can't do that anymore.
No.
Can't- fucking 10
No.
games each day. The rest of the generation was that awful series that we don't mention. In the last paragraph now. Most recently, I had my first proper decision to make over a new gen... Did I say that right? My first...
Yeah,
most
over-
recently,
yeah.
I made my first proper decision to make over a new generation and choose the Xbox Series X. Over the PS5. Like a madman. You are a madman.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Literally insane.
You weren't part of the True Bros yet, but don't worry. We'll rectify that. Send it to us. We'll destroy it with thermite or
I was about
something.
to say,
Or axe it, one of the two.
maybe both. Who knows?
Who knows? We'll do it at the same time. We'll put thermite on the axe.
Yes.
There you go, that's how it works. Don't want to damage the axe, god damn it. What does he say? Then I replayed Lego Batman 3 with FPS boost, 2 generations on, and of course the newest Horizon game 1 generation later. I'm still playing multiple games at the same time for the past year, and it's been fun. It's too easy to keep typing for you guys. I'm stopping now. I love Alpha because he's become such a good part of the community. He's just meshed so well.
There's a bunch
and all
of
it
dudes that
took
do
was
that.
one community meetup just to be like, you know how we are? We're your bros. And then he's like,
Yeah.
do you know what? These guys are cool.
I think people don't get that. Just like on the video, like if you meet us in person, we're the same guys.
Yeah.
So when we say come to the Discord, it's not we want people on the Discord for like monetization or anything.
There's no
It's-
monetization.
Yeah, we don't do it. It's come to the Discord so that we can chat when there isn't a premiere,
Yeah.
right? So that we can all hang and talk about games and movies and shows and obviously anime, the most important thing. And why Batman is so much better than Superman. Don't know, you'll freaking die if you do.
Fuck, the thing is, it's heavy on the end
Yeah,
as well, so I
yeah.
can accidentally do it.
Like, that's why we say join the Discord, so that all of us can hang out more. Also, it's a great community. Like, there's a reason we built a community. We set out when we started YouTube when we restarted YouTube, specifically to build a community. And if we got big or grew or made any money of it, that'd be an extra. But build a community. And we freaking did it, man. Like, it's a great place to be. It's a great place to hang out. And then you get guys that find us, whether from the Four Pillars or from YouTube or whatever, who join and out of nowhere make you read freaking dissertations every week.
Yeah.
Freaking alpha.
And then there's the final comment. So it's ESAC sort of two-part.
Yeah, I'll take it.
There's a top part, bit at the top.
Oh, let me see. Where is he?
That one there.
Okay.
Read that first and then the next one.
Another issue I've mentioned in the stream chat, I literally have no way of acquiring an Xbox Series X or S. Even if I wanted to, it would be easier for me to take a shit and hope to find diamonds in the process. I don't have the income to just go drop £2,000 on a PC. I mean,
I asked why that was, and then he
Yeah.
responded to us why that is over here.
so he's assuming you're asking about why Xbox consoles are so rare here. I assume it's for the same reason the Xbox Game Pass isn't available here. They don't see Iceland as a large enough market for some reason. I really don't understand why. Money is money, no matter where it comes from. And that is something Sony was aware of since the PS1. That makes so little sense to me because, look, yeah, okay, let's say there's 20,000 people in Iceland.
Yeah.
That's 20,000 people, and it's not like having them access your servers costs you money. That's not how that works.
Especially because two things. Microsoft is so rich and they're spending so much money throwing money away at other things.
Yeah.
Are you worried about losing? It doesn't make business sense to go over here. It doesn't make business sense to make Game Pass, but you're doing it.
Yeah.
And also, when your numbers are so low, this is just a fact. Your numbers of
Yeah,
sales
yeah.
are so low. Every little bit counts.
Yeah.
That could be 5% of your entire sales.
Imagine you can add just an extra 20,000 Game Pass users the week before you go into an investor meeting. We grew by 20,000 things this week alone.
It's like that with 20,000 here, 20,000 over there, 100,000 over here. It just all adds up.
Right.
If PlayStation can do it, you can do it.
Anyway, silver lining, is I might get a PS5
Yeah.
and actually experiencing good gaming, good companies that care about you and want to make good products.
But they're gatekeepers. We
I
can't-
know
we
that
can't
you
support
exist.
people.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Sony's the gatekeeper. I'm
Sony's the
sorry, yeah.
gatekeepers. Xbox are all about everyone. When everyone plays, we all win.
It's true. You know, for two guys that are so dumb, we just have been consistently right about this for years. We're on record constantly banging out winners, boys.
Yeah, boy. That's why you subscribe to Conbrosations right there.
All right, man.
Guys, that is the end of the podcast. Thank you all for tuning in for such a meaty episode.
Yeah.
We'll join you guys, if you're patrons, over on Patreon for the Conbrosations podcast
That's
right
right.
after this. If not, next week when you can enjoy just another one of these episodes and we'll see what
Yeah.
that's all about. Bro, thank you for joining me for another episode. I'll catch you in the next episode that we make.
In about 5 minutes.
It's at 5 minutes.
I'll see you
Catch
there.
later. Boy!
I'm freaking jealous. It's so good. Are we going to sharpen it?
I do want to sharpen it. I do.
Yeah.
Just in case you didn't think it was metal.
Yeah, I think it's got a coating or a paint or something on it, but
I think they did coat it.
it
with
is
something to give it
metal,
this color.
you know?
Boy!
Except you have a girl.
Yes, yeah, go.
Damn it!